Right. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Rough Rolling. I don't got much to say about much of anything right now. It's been kind of a week. And
Been kind of a strong week.
yeah, it's definitely I guess strong in the way that, shot of Everclear would be.
Oh, that's weak. That's a weak, strong week.
Ooh, you almost tempted me into saying something really fucking horrible while we were on stream.
that's
Something
that,
Cody would have been proud of.
that's my goal every week, Jim. Back to you.
Yeah, my players, everybody. Um, why don't we go ahead and just get an idea as to what happened last week?
Oh God. Okay. So, yeah, that was we finished up our task in the dream realm, which sort of collapsed the one that we were in, and we had seen the front of the manor get blown out. Or rather, we hadn't seen that. We had seen the smoke coming up overhead in the dream realm. So, much to our shock, we were like, "Did that happen here?" And turns out it did. And the people who were on the in the city at the time, anyway, they were already investigating it. Uh, there is some folks from the Lunar Garden. I forget where else they knew each other from. Uh, were already there investigating it, and I kind of elbowed our way in to see if there was any help that we could render them. Uh, there was a I I had salt crystal written down. That's not the kind of crystal that it was. Discovered in the wreckage, and Christoph Ludendorff told us about an attack by some to him unknown assailants in the middle of the night, which had resulted in a fireball going off in their alchemical lab and blowing up a good chunk of the wall of the house. The crystal that had been left behind was one of the void crystals, by the way, which at first maybe we considered having something to do with the explosion. It doesn't appear that it did. Uh, but yeah, the Drow were with House to Scar, who we'd run into once before, uh, ambushing them on the highway right as they left town, which is, as everyone knows, a really good way to endear people to you. Uh, the one Drow who managed to get away was found hanging by his entrails in the woods, uh, and the the body, I'm pretty sure, was brought to the town guard, uh, and yeah, then the coyote lady showed up, and we got a name out of her, Nyala, as well as a lot more detail as to what her mission was exactly, uh, as well as the stuff that she couldn't really tell us. Uh, which, yeah, uh, my my own notes for that consisted of her name and nothing else. So I'm like, yeah, they were important details. Like the fact that she's from a different sort of uh, reality and kind of like hopping around between some of them, it seems, or at least that's what I had interpreted out of game. I don't know if my character would have the same like perspective and all that. So, uh, I'm trying to remember what else even was discussed, but I don't think, uh, yeah, I don't think I've got too much on that. But yeah, we'd gotten in some good conversation still, even if I don't remember it. And then she left us, and that's where we had left off.
Yeah, pretty much. Conversation was just kind of a odd assortment of questions of seeing what information you can get out of her, as well as some I think were either probing or condescending questions regarding certain things, but she kind of shot a lot back at you. Yeah. I guess people will remember it if they think it's important. And yeah.
Nah,
Yeah, I know.
I don't wanna.
So, you now have the rest of the day ahead of you. I know that there was a rather large ticket item on there. Require a little bit of preparation on one person's part.
Who?
Maybe.
Don't tell him.
Actually,
He has to go into the
Is it
test
me?
completely unprepared.
Is it me?
it might be you.
Okay. Sven wakes up staring at the ceiling. Sasha's probably in the room cuddled up with him, and Lugo's probably on the bed. He usually sleeps on the floor, and he's just like, fuck. Today's the day.
I don't know. What do you spend the rest of this day doing, if anything? 'Cause I know
Oh,
you-
did I accidentally skip ahead?
Yeah.
He's daydreaming about
Probably getting
what tomorrow holds.
horrifically drunk. Like, just trying to forget about what tomorrow will bring.
Well, considering you have to draw a decent amount of blood, that won't be too difficult at all.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot about that. I have to draw a lot of my blood.
Mm-hmm. And
Like-
how?
It's like 75% alcohol by the time we get to the ritual.
How the answer is stabbing myself in the kidneys. Imagine.
I mean, kidneys do have blood in them, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But are you drunk enough to know where the kidney are? Be able to tell where your kidneys are in your body?
Yes.
Or are you just going to keep stabbing until you find them?
I'll find them eventually. Look, we have a cleric. It'll be fine.
Double your blood.
So, is there
No
anything
mini
that's
town.
happening the rest of this day, or?
I mean, if nothing else, I think Vic was just going to go out and pick up whatever other reagents are necessary for the ritual, and
Okay.
maybe let everybody who's involved know that we're going to be doing it either today or tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have too much else on the docket for that day, so I'll just have a preparation to do.
Okay.
I'd like to. This is the day after we did the stuff with the Dream Realm. Yeah.
Well, you went in at about 9 p.m., so technically it is the day after.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm gonna. I actually am gonna do some meditating with Cyrus.
Okay. And definitely, at least this time seems to be that you're not going to be, jumped and stabbed.
Let's hope not.
I don't know. You want to roll me a D100 and see how that goes?
Sure, I'd love to.
Each one is a one knife wound.
All right. Yeah. That's fine. If you would have
All
rolled a nat 1, I would have been so pissed because
That
then I
would've
would
been
have
really
had
funny,
to do
though.
something with it.
No, just to skim over things. Just basically, now that things are over with the Dream Realm, and we have some downtime, and Cyrus is going to be traveling with us, I imagine. I want to make it clear that I want to start taking this more seriously, and at least until the week's up and we're at the place we got to be.
Mhm.
Basically doing this what I can do most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's more than reasonable. It's going to be a lot of stuff that you're already familiar with. A lot of just quiet tea. Shockingly, there is a non-negligible amount of smoking involved. Not all of it's necessarily like sitting quietly forever. There is a decent amount of just base conversation. He definitely has a way of asking questions that are... they're like cones. I figure you don't know what a Buddhist cone is. It's a question that really doesn't have an answer. It's a question that's meant to make you think rather than looking for a specific answer.
Okay.
Is it gay too?
Yes.
If you have to ask the question, the answer is probably yes.
It depends on whether or not you're wearing socks.
Real.
Good answer. Good answer.
Or it's completely not, and you're weird for asking it.
I like Lion's answer better.
So
I think
yeah.
he knows what he's talking about.
Cyrus definitely knows or has the ability to like speak and ask questions like a sphinx, where it's very much not really seeking answers or information, but simply forcing you to think about things in ways that you probably wouldn't. Something tells me that your character probably handles this rather, at least initially, pretty immaturely.
What the fuck are you talking about? What?
Why
No,
does it matter?
Yeah. Like, basically, yeah.
It is not
But
enough to just have physical strength, you must have mental strength too.
I do have mental strength. What the fuck do you mean?
You're drunk half the fucking time.
So, I mean, I haven't been drunk in like 2 days.
No,
all
hold
right,
on.
that's like a record
Axius,
for me.
That's training your willpower.
I'd say I have some pretty good mental strength. All right, I mean that takes a lot of like intelligence, right?
Intelligence, I don't know. Self-control, at least a little bit. It's better than you once were. Now let's get back to it.
All right, it's basically a lot of that at first.
A lot, yeah. He's at least relatively good sport about everything. When you're a real ass, he knows 100% how and when to shoot back at you. But generally speaking, he can rope a dope pretty okay, where it's just sort of taking it and not really swinging back. There are definitely like certain topics or certain instances where you'll say something and he'll shoot back very hard, but most of the time it's weaving through it or ignoring it.
Fair. It's definitely a lot less than it usually is, but it's definitely still present.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. How long does it take you to go through alcohol withdrawal?
7
Off the top of my
minutes.
head, I don't know. For taxis, yeah.
Until I find the next bottle, Gray.
Is the hangover the day after
Up to a
immediately?
week.
When?
Up to a week.
Alcohol
Okay.
withdrawal syndrome can last up to a week.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I am
I still
at
like my answer.
delirium. About starts now, which causes vivid hallucinations and delusions. Oh, only about 5% of people that have alcohol withdrawal have them. Never mind.
Roll the d20.
Confusion, racing heart, high blood pressure, fever, heavy sweating.
Roll
I'll
the
fucking
d20.
I'll fucking roll it.
I'm not sure, like,
Nah.
how much of an actual alcoholic you were. I think you're probably gonna go through a really bad hangover bare minimum, but I'm not sure if you'll go through AWS.
I like the visual of just like trying to meditate and just pouring sweat.
I don't know, maybe you'd have to basically end up like train spotting, belted to a mattress and watching the baby crawl across the ceiling, turn its head around like it's on an axis to stare down at you.
God, I hope it doesn't get to that point. At least Axis doesn't.
You as a player would find that very amusing.
Oh, yes.
Horrible.
I am mean to my own characters.
We
At
get
least-
spun out of this bargain, and we're just like, and Joel's like, I made a new friend, guys. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck to call that. At least we are already in the town to be like, oh, by the way, you had another one of these actually. Want to break too? Yeah, probably.
Hey, guys, I got a new follower.
Gestures towards open space. Cyrus is standing like back going,
Just don't say
He speaks.
anything.
He speaks with the gods now.
thank God you have a cleric that's relatively high level
Yeah,
with you.
I'll need something at some point, but Daxis ain't gonna ask for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is very much your prerogative, or at least your character's prerogative. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that. At least it's out in the forest, and now that like fall is incoming, the temperatures are starting to be significantly more comfortable. And unlike where we live, this isn't in a swamp, so it isn't like 80% humidity, 24/7, 365.
Fucking hate it. Dude, humidity is the fucking worst, and he's not exaggerating either, guys. He's not.
Mhm. Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
So, we have shopping, we have meditation and dealing with flop sweat. We have, what are the rest do? Oh, getting smashed drunk, I'm assuming, and also giving blood, which is a great combination.
At the same
Yeah.
time?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're replacing every pint with another pint.
And I guess, I don't know, being the designated driver is
Naturally.
the fourth? I don't know.
And actually, if I could maybe reschedule stuff as I'm sort of like, you know, looking at the clock, and I'm like, all right, I've got the I got the spells prepared. If, you know, Sven's ready to go now. If he's not back now, I'm kind of like, still don't want the good day to go to pot, so I'll probably just enchant that shield I've been carrying around and be like, haha, all that shit didn't even realize the shield wasn't even magic. And yeah, be like, well, man, maybe I should have just enchanted it earlier.
Well, you have all day. No one's gonna bother you unless you want them to. You were able to convince Terse in order to be the last person necessary for the enchantment, the summoning.
Right.
And then whenever you go is when you need to gather up Aurelio Mercader, who is currently the owner of the Marianan Keep, and thus runs that educational program.
Yep. At some point today, I'll let him know that we plan on coming by for the ritual tomorrow.
Yes, because you have his cell phone number.
Yes.
That's not really hyperbole.
Not really, no.
Yep.
It's I remember watching a video basically saying how we often incorporate a lot of like modern stuff into certain campaigns, where like, you know, 30 years ago, like the concept of a mobile phone wasn't really like something, but now communication is so common and so easy that it seems odd to not have it. Which wasn't necessarily the reason why I gave this, but it was definitely part of it.
It kind of helps.
It helps.
Honestly.
It helps a lot.
Yeah. All right. So, shopping goes well. There is definitely you're probably one of the few people that goes out, Daxis, since you and Cyrus are going out into the woods. You're not really seeing like the crowds of people. Vic, you're definitely getting a broad slice of how the environment has definitely lightened now that the pallor that has set over Bridgefront has dissipated, and most of the people who live there are returning to the lives that they once led, for better or ill. A lot, not great, but that seems like a problem for not today. And possibly not you.
You're jealous of this little baby, huh? Yeah.
Kittens everywhere. And not a single pair of headphones to eat.
She's just a big
What a cruel world for them.
Mhm. At least this one's not interested in the headphones.
See, I would just beat my animals if they did that.
Mhm.
Live
Alright.
on air, folks.
Look, sometimes your animals need spanking.
I'm reading letters from the ASPCA.
Mhm. They definitely got yelled at. I was not happy. But I was like, I already chewed it, as they say. You can't unmeat spike your captain. So,
Alright.
Do they say that?
yeah,
That's only a joke I would get.
exactly.
What?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm...
For context, in Space Station
Yeah,
13 and
I
14,
assumed.
Ah.
if you put somebody's body on a meat spike, it permanently removes them from the game. And the captain is the highest ranking person on the ship.
It normally wouldn't be cool, except that there's a mode where you can get on as a character who's there to just kill everyone on the station, so it's actually completely appropriate that you do that.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Ish.
comedy. So, the day goes by, I guess, in the various stages of speed for a lot of you. Some of you might be relatively quickly, assuming you remember any of it, that is. For others, it might seem to crawl. Eventually it does pass, though.
Yeah, I'll send word to the people involved in the ritual that I'll be like, all right, if that's not happening a day, then I guess I'll send you an emergency message if it is, but otherwise assume tomorrow, and we'll send one to you then.
No,
I'm
it is
assuming
happening
that's
today.
like a couple silver.
Happening today.
It is?
No, it's not.
Oh. I was like 10 years past
Oh,
quickly.
I thought this was tomorrow.
No, not yet.
Tomorrow doesn't
They're,
exist.
they're coming to attack Earth in a year. 1 year passes quickly. All right, they're about to show up tomorrow.
Now it's time for a montage. Every movie has to have a montage.
No. Who are we gonna get to compose the weird, like, generic synthy score?
Weird Al.
That'd be good.
I don't think Weird Al would be polka music. He doesn't do synth stuff.
It still fit.
Yeah. The one song in the Transformers movies.
There to be stupid, there to be stupid. Yeah.
I guess
I
that
remember
was that was like his one like original one too, though I think so.
Yeah, it was it's a pastiche of Devo. And it's funny
Oh.
because the lead singer at Devo said that that he hates the song because it's the most Devo song and they could never have written it.
Mm-hmm.
So, the day passes, those of you end up back at Bannerhome. People just end up in bed whenever they end up in bed.
Do like that spellcraft check for that shield thing
Yep, good.
and cry probably. I think that's actually the DC. Because it's a oh wait. Yeah, because it's a caster level 3rd and then 5 extra. If not, I don't think I failed by 5. or less. So we'll see.
The shield.
Yeah. Get that beautiful enhancement bonus. Because yeah, it should be 3 times the enhancement bonus. So 10 plus 3 plus 5 for not having the prerequisite anymore means I still hit it on that 4.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. So then you end up in bed. You don't know how you got there, but
Is there at least a hot woman beside me?
Lugo.
in your mental state,
Not Lugo.
probably not.
Lugo.
I want to say that it's actually Lugo that's mostly like babysitting you during the day and probably overnight as well. Because something tells me that you get pretty blackout.
Probably.
And I'm gonna assume that your character generally isn't a very belligerent drunk.
Oh no, he's very happy.
Maybe not so much today.
No, because he forgot what he has to do tomorrow.
Yeah, well. Either way, you're very irresponsible and kind of not in one piece. So he's the one that's like, you know, proverbially holding your hair back.
At one point, I do buy drinks for the entire bar.
Okay. You're gonna be out about 5 gold.
Sure.
Unless you
You know what?
insist on doing liquor.
Yeah, let's get everyone super drunk.
Then you're gonna be out probably closer to 30.
That's fine. Drop in the bucket, Gray.
The classic adventure thing of going into a random town and completely destroying the local economy.
When you're
That's
cosplaying
me.
as Mansa Musa.
All right.
Leave having inverted the position of the nobility and the local bartender. Just
I get to be cool for a night. The last night.
The last night.
The first night.
So, morning finally comes. Sunday, September the 7th. Throbbing headache for one of you.
Not me, because I drank water. Probably still a throbbing headache, though.
Mm. Body weight and liquor. I don't think that's going to be, balanced out by a couple glasses of water.
It could be. You don't know.
Find out in real life.
Yeah, let's find out, guys.
Just chugging twisted teas all night.
There's this one guy at my work who comes in. I say at my work. I see at my work who comes in with a twisted tea cup. Is a cup that looks like a can of twisted tea. And you're not allowed to have alcohol there. So every time I look at it, I'm like, oh no, he's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Or
twisted
no.
tea's only 5%, so it's like basically not alcohol anyway.
True. I love that guy.
All right. I'm assuming that Fernix and probably Vic are there handling the blood extraction and healing afterwards. I'm sure that isn't a
Wait.
pain in the ass at all.
Yeah.
Are we doing it in the morning or the night before? Because night before works just fine. Because I figured I don't want to do spell park for 2 days, so I'm like, all right, I did it for today, and then tomorrow too. Yeah. So I've got restoration. We could drain you down to 1 point a con if you want.
Well, you
Get
know,
really exciting.
you're gonna need a couple of pints of it, so
Probably tomorrow. Because otherwise the blood's gonna dry, right?
We can put it in like bottles. We're not the Red Cross over here, but we are at least like smart enough brains to be like, a thing liquid, it gets the air on it, it dry out and it cannot use anymore. You know,
I assume we weren't just like putting it in a bucket somewhere.
I'm hoping
put it.
so.
You probably put
We
it in,
could.
like a bucket, honestly, and just put a lid on it, and it's most of the way to being preserved. I guess the other thing would be to keep it cool so it doesn't coagulate. I'm also presuming that as a healer, I know about the blood coagulating. I
I'm
fucking
assuming you
hope.
do.
Okay.
Okay, so well, I'm assuming that the order of events is something along the lines of September 6th, Sven gets wasted, and Fernix and Vic are desperately following him around, trying to get the blood out of him.
He's drinking while we're just like cutting the back of his leg and catch.
Yeah, we've just got he's walking around in like a hospital gown with tubes coming out of him, just taking shots.
Can you please explain why these men are just coming up and stabbing you randomly? And
No, I pay them to do it. It's fine.
I just like, no.
So I'm assuming we've collected all of the resources, including the blood, on the 6th, and then now today, the 7th, is the day that everyone was told to be ready for the ritual itself.
Yeah.
So that way everyone's prepared and we haven't lost any spell slots.
Yeah.
I can just flash back the restoration and everything. And then I've got it on the day of in case I'm like, well, if our measurements were a little bit off, or if some of the blood did dry after all, then yeah, we can just shake him again and be like, all right, here, I brought you the booze this time. Sorry, our liquid measuring wasn't so good with the buckets.
Hmm. Okay. Right. I'm sure Oliver and Arid are just watching this like go on the whole evening, like what the fuck. And even Terse is like standing on the landing, like above, like watching this show. And finally just kind of going, ugh, and turning around and going back into his office and closing the door. So, this morning, you wake up and that is the realization you have.
Staring at the ceiling like, fuck. Sven rubs his head, gets up, goes downstairs, sees Fernix, does the normal coffee routine, but he's quiet today.
And
He's just drinking his coffee quietly, waiting for the rest of everyone to get up.
yeah, also kind of brewing stuff in silence, where it's like, seem at least a little bit tired still. Possibly from all of the other stuff that we've been up to.
Yes,
And,
I'm quiet. I mean, tired. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just
sorry.
me being tired.
You know, it's I'd look over and just see Etur standing next to one of the blood buckets with his arms folded behind his back. It's a lot of stuff on the mind, yes. I'm just taking it one thing at a time, really.
Ben rubs his face and eyes. And it's just like, I just hope for it to get over with soon.
It is the aim.
That
Yeah,
is the aim indeed.
Don't look like you're suffering from any of the effects of alcohol poisoning, so I'll assume that you're at least functional.
No. I drank water. It's fine.
As if on cue, Dax is going to stumble down the stairs.
Speaking of
make his way
alcohol
over.
poisoning,
Yes.
Yeah, that was only a small pot. Let me put on another one.
Coffee, please.
Yep, just a couple of minutes.
Alright. Morning.
Yeah.
Morning, Dactyus. Did you have a fun trip down the stairs?
No, I almost fell, actually.
It's not good.
We did maybe see that happen. You stumbled quite a bit. Like 3 times.
No, the third one was on no, it was
Yes,
3
yes.
times. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I mean, my coordination's been
You
a
lose it
little
when you
off.
get older.
Apparently so.
Some do.
How old are you,
Yeah.
Daxius?
I'm 22.
Practically still a child.
Yeah, I'm
Not to be insulting. I
I beat a fucking little bit, but you're not wrong. I mean, I've lived a quarter of my lifespan. I mean, I don't feel like a child. But
I feel like I'm parroting what I hear from elves every time I was asked my age.
yeah, that's kind of what it feels like right now. Forgive me, it's the morning.
Yeah,
I shouldn't. Fuck.
I'm trying not to go back to sleep. My double hooking has caught up with me. Unfortunately, it happens.
You're what?
Oh, just I do tend to drink a lot of the coffee, and it keeps me up sometimes. And sort of like if you were one of the ladies of the night and you had 2 separate occasions to keep up with, you would get done with one and go out for the other. So, double hooking.
With
I
your
think I
spell.
understand.
Just a turn of phrase from Allenberg, anyway. Not sure what they called it other places, or if they had such a colorful appellation. But yes. Ugh, I happened to put rudimentary enchantments on my shield yesterday, and I think that was about all I had left in me. I probably shouldn't have tried that, to be honest.
Right.
Seems like
Well,
Vic's the only one actually getting decent sleep amongst us.
Servants of the Divine don't need sleep. That's what restoration spell is for.
what
Vic
circle
probably-
of magic is that in?
It's definitely staring off at the wall for a second as he just tries to think about it. It's got to be the conjuration.
Oh, good.
No. I mean, the power circles.
Excuse me?
The circles of power of magic.
Oh,
There's the first level, there's the second level, there's... You get that.
oh well, that's all of the schools then.
Yes, what circle is the restoration?
Oh, the second for the lesser one, and then the fourth for the more commonly walked about one. You only need the second one to manage to offset a night's lack of sleep, but two of them might be a bit much for it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
good morning, Vic.
I think Vic's dead.
He's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw him drop from.
Vic!
Turns to stone, and we're all just like, "Oh fuck!"
Am I back?
Yep.
Welcome back.
Okay, I heard somebody say the word Vic, but everything from the last probably minute and a half is gone.
That's King Crimson for you.
How does it work? It's just a really bad internet connection, apparently.
Mhm.
Except this was written in like the 90s or the early 2000s, so fast internet speeds haven't been a thing. So maybe that's what the inspiration was. When was Part 5 written? Doesn't matter.
Fucking internet. How does they work?
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say Vic was probably
don't.
out doing his morning prayers, so he might walk in at some point.
Oh, good.
Good morning, Vic.
Yes, much more restful sleep than last night.
I didn't ask. Anywho, I'm kidding.
Right. So, Sven,
Very
you,
cool.
I suppose today is the day, is it not?
Mhm.
yes, for better or for worse, it certainly seems to be.
Sven rubs his head. Well, I suppose there's no time like the present. Unless we hit a scheduled part of the day that we are supposed to show up. In that case, there's no time like that time.
Well, we haven't even had breakfast yet. I mean, we can take a little time.
With like the breakfast and yes, I need to get my spell
Right,
prepared.
right. I forgot that you guys need to eat.
It's okay.
Right, I forgot that you don't.
I sometimes forget myself.
I suppose I could grab something as well.
Because I don't think the
Makes
wizard was
better.
expecting us for a couple of hours anyway.
I mean, fuck, Wizard might just get less sleep than we do.
I wonder how much surely a wizard of his power has something to make sure he doesn't need to sleep. At least a ring of sustenance like this one.
Maybe.
Although the mystic was up in his tower, I imagine he might have some sort of temporal weirdness going on.
When do they
true.
not? I mean, they're wizards.
And anywho, a waitress. I call over. We order food.
Spends mean to the waitress. Maybe we don't want him to
Yeah.
help break his after all.
Does the society
don't
have a
tip.
waitress?
I don't know. I'm
No.
just progressing.
You are able to eventually go up to the bar and ask for food to be placed in, and it is brought out to you, generally magically. Interestingly enough, as it's delivered, the very small, like, flittering dragon that you've seen around Turris comes with it and kind of sits on the table and just kind of moves around as you guys are eating, almost seeming to keep an eye, but also like just going to the one corner and eventually laying down and just watching.
Is no one going to comment on that?
Yeah, on what? Sven looks around. There's like 3 adventurers over there that look like Dread Knights. 5 adventurers over there that look like level 1 people, but they have this weird magical thing on the top of their table. He's just like looking around at what the fucks he could be referring to.
The fact that someone's that's Turs. Never mind.
Well, might be good to ask him about it later.
It's probably not that important. Just
Oh, I think
It's-
it'd get old if we started interrupting every conversation that he has.
yeah.
Do I recognize what creature this is?
It's a Pyrausta. I think you've seen him a few times before, kind of fluttering around.
Oh yeah, bug.
Okay. Is it one that understands language?
Yes, he is not able to speak, but he understands language.
Okay. Like, understand as in, like, can take orders or would be able to communicate non-verbally.
Yes.
The second one? Or the first one?
He understands, actually, I think he might be able to speak, just not in common. I'm
Sven
sure
can
you can guess
understand
what
him.
language he does speak. I love how just delayed the video is compared to the audio. But yes, Flick
Just
is
start
able
digging
to
into my food.
understand and convey information without a problem.
Guess I'll turn to it. We've got a bit of time before Mercado is expecting us, so if you're here waiting for us, you can let Toes know that we'll let him know when we're ready. Or you're welcome to just sit here if you'd like.
It perks. Well, he perks up a little bit and just kind of gives a languid stretch, a bit of a nod, and then leaps off the table and takes to its insect-like wings and skitters out through the long hall of Bannerhelm and up over the railing to Tersa's office.
Well,
Kind of cute in an insectoid way.
There's plenty of cute insects. What do you mean? Like moths.
Moths, really?
You don't think moths are beautiful?
Beautiful is not the word I'd use. No, I mean they're alluring. I mean, I could see it, but like, I mean, they're.
Moths
I
are.
mean, when compared to butterflies, they ain't shit.
I'm going to have to throw hands with you, as they say sometime.
You'd probably kick my ass. Let's be honest.
I'd do it today, but we'll see about tomorrow.
you can choose whether or not Daxius is aware of the fact that Vic's holy symbol is a Luna moth hanging off of his chest.
Hasn't got his coffee yet. He needs to process things. He'll remember eventually.
It's not new.
It's not new.
It's definitely not. Baby. Baby.
Well, Sven, did you have anything else you needed to
Attend
Take
to?
care.
No. No, all of my birds are in a sort. How do you say it?
ducks in a row?
Ducks in a row, yes. I don't really have much to put in a row, to be honest with you.
Any thoughts, hesitation?
If I'm being honest, I'm trying not to think too hard about it. I just want it over with. And, well, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I have thoughts, but I somewhat wish to keep them to myself. We will see what will happen when we get there, and I could theorize and worry about 1,000 different outcomes, but at the end of the day, I don't know which will happen, and I'm trying not to worry about them.
Birch's camera is being attacked by cats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fucking computer's getting shut off by them. Bastards won't fucking listen.
We
See,
love
this
that.
is where I would like to reiterate that you can beat your animals. It's perfectly ethical.
I
You
mean,
should.
birdshot won't kill, just to be fair.
Mm,
Well,
Probably.
with a cat,
maybe
everyone-
rat shot. You want to do rat shot with cats. Because cats are bigger than rats, so therefore it's safe.
Yeah, it'll bounce right off.
Take a napkin and throw it at them from like 5 feet away, and they look utterly horrified. So I think I can probably find a couple of steps before that. And, just the good old-fashioned yelling at them because I'm like, yeah. That they don't like that. So usually they get the point across.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only tangentially related, but I just remember that image of the mouse trap that was just like a revolver on a string.
Need to find this.
See if I can find it.
Goodbye flooring.
I think I found it.
Well, you are served your food. You are able to eat it at your own pace. Chris is aware of when you seem to be heading out, and well, fortunately, a phone call will summon Mercader when necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're ready whenever.
Yeah, we finished dinner, or I'm sorry, we finished breakfast, and I guess that we make our way over to the wizard's thing. Assuming we have all the preparations and stuff needed. You didn't really say specifically what we needed, so I think we just all assume that.
I did.
We
It
just
just
have it.
happened a really long time ago, and something tells me that nobody wrote any of it down. So I'm just gonna go with things. All right. So, you're able to put together everybody and make the walk through the city to the Madianan Keep, watching as it grows taller and taller as you grow closer. It is a long walk, but it's a pretty nice morning. It's crisp. The humidity is higher because it's morning, but it's like 60 degrees out. So having a walk, especially in like armor, it's actually pretty nice. The city is very calm because it's on a Sunday. Most people aren't working, save for the usual places and people who are customer facing. So it's quiet. You pass by a lot of different places. The smell of baked goods, smell of fresh meat, smell of fermenting beer, and the distilling of liquor, as there are both of those in the city.
What did you call me?
The distillery.
Yeah, that tracks.
Honestly, if you had a distillery, we'd probably make more money than we do.
I don't know. Depends on if we make something good.
Just make some shitty IPA, then some weird hipsters will drink it and say it's the best beer ever.
I mean, how hard can it be to make gin? Like, right?
Yeah, but you can make an IPA that tastes like cat piss. People will still buy it.
Make it as bitter as hell, and apparently it's, it's fine. I'll put hair on your chest.
Yeah, it's aromatic. You can get the notes of ammonia and heroin.
All right, guys, I've got an idea.
We quit the adventuring life, and we start a beer distillery.
We're going to need to raise cats. I know this may not seem related to you, but trust me.
Yeah,
I
just
thought you
add
wanted
I
some
beer,
believe.
not Budweiser.
just add some carbonation and it'll sell.
As long as Dax gets to do the taste testing, hell yeah.
Is Dax is a hipster?
Enough, maybe.
He's fake until he makes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wear a scarf and ride a bicycle around everywhere. Not like a mountain bike or something practical. No, it's got to be like a recycled bike from the 1930s.
A tricycle.
You drive a
A
Prius, but it's
farthing.
from 2012.
I drive a 20. Hold on. I drive a 2012 Prius. Exactly that.
Well, you're wearing the beanie, so you're already like halfway there.
Fuck!
Yeah. Sorry, the Prius was the other half. The deal is sealed.
Oh no.
Jury has spoken. Guilty as charged.
Guys, I plead the fifth.
You are met in the courtyard by Mercader, who is wearing what appears to be very heavy traveling robes. He seems at least pleasant, but does not seem to be like in a, hey, we're meeting up and doing something. It is very obvious by the expression on his face that this is pretty serious, and he is taking it as such. Terse has treated it much the same, with Flick kind of mostly flittering around, his little blue heart on his chest kind of flickering, a mixture between blue and green.
Was that like a mood ring?
Yes, actually. Roustas basically burn with a small fire within them, and it also allows them to breathe fire, and the color of the fire reflects their mood.
What is it when they feel love?
Probably closer to pink or bright red.
No, I mean, what kind of flame is that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, this doesn't matter.
Like I just said it.
This is a literal one in their
I
case.
guess.
I was waiting for the punchline.
The punchline is he doesn't listen very well.
I'm sorry, I don't know what...
Wait, did your internet die? No.
What? No,
No.
sorry. What's going on? Who am I? Where am I?
Good
Yeah.
questions all around.
What year is it?
Sven greets... Shit, what was her name? Mercator?
Aurelio Mercator, yes.
The wizard.
The Archwizard.
Sven is kind of at the front of the pack, and he gives them a slight nod, and it looks like he's a little nervous. Like he greets them, but he's very quiet and awkward about it. Clearly tense.
Mm-hmm. Mercator kind of gives a nod and then gestures around. He then begins silently walking over towards the smaller tower near the front of the property, where there's a sizable door, and after whispering words to himself, he touches his hand on the door and then pushes it open, revealing that it doesn't go into a building, but somewhere deep in the forest. He steps back and just, like, flat-faced.
I'm sorry, did you say deep in the forest?
Yes.
Oh, you cut out a little bit.
Yes, that the doorway leads not into the building itself, but somewhere deep in the forest. He then, stony-faced, steps back and gestures for everybody to enter.
Sven raises an eyebrow, but nods and looks to the others and steps in.
Catfolk have eyebrows?
I'm sorry, what?
Do catfolk have eyebrows?
Well,
They have
I mean,
eye ridges.
yeah, I mean, you can see when his face goes up, but I guess he doesn't really have distinguished eyebrows.
He like pencils them on in the morning.
Yeah. It was just a stupid question. We don't need to engage.
Today, Sven has big, bushy, angry eyebrows.
He looks
That
like Andy Rooney.
reminds me of a video of a guy who shaved everything. And he's like, I don't understand why people diss on not having eyebrows. I mean, what is wrong with them anyway? Like, why? And like, he draws on anger and gets angry. It was you had to be there. You had to see it.
Honestly, the idea of just like shaving your eyebrows just in specific moments each day, just marker them on, is really funny to me.
That's some insane shit.
Yes, it is.
Some people have to deal with that.
Funny as shit though.
I guess everybody progresses through.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at the clock, so I was like, I wasn't sure if it did spell prep, but I'm assuming so.
Yeah. Everybody will have time to like do that after breakfast. If you hadn't done it before breakfast, you would have time to do it after. Mercator follows
Sven.
you through and then closes the door.
Before we go in, I guess Sven will have brought a pen or like a quill or whatever and some paper with him.
How How far are you along with the book that you were writing, by the way?
Oh, I thought we had it done by this time. I thought we said that it would be done by the time I do this.
Okay.
I don't know how far along specifically because I thought that's just what we were doing. We did totally. All right, Sven finished. Sven stayed up and he finished it before this, and afterwards he's gonna deliver it.
Okay. All right. You find yourself deep somewhere in the forest, quite a distance away, and as the door closes behind you, you watch as the door slowly vanishes, leaving only a stone arch behind you. Mercader simply gestures and begins leading you. Hasn't said a word, hasn't even said hello, and just starts walking. First,
We
most
follow.
of us goes with it.
Yeah.
Look after them and just kind of nod like, all right.
Just relatively quiet while moving.
Terse walks with Mercader for a bit, like close, and you can see the two of them talking. Mostly Terse talking. Mercader turns to like give a word and reply every so often, but not super often. After about 5 minutes of walking, you come to a bit of a glade, an opening in the forest, which burgeons on a narrow but swift-moving creek. And Mercader goes to the center of it and just places the messenger's bag that he's had on the ground and opens it. And
Does this place look familiar to me?
You've probably been through here a few times. Probably not in day. I think most of the hunting you did was overnight or very early in the morning. But it has the sense of familiarity as you enter into it.
Yeah, this is definitely somewhere near here, not like far away or a pocket dimension.
Yeah.
Okay. Sven approaches. He's just watching right now. He doesn't know if he should speak. He doesn't know, even if he could, what he would say.
You actually do sort of remember the stone archway as well. There are a decent amount of like smaller ruins that are just sort of around, having been swallowed up by nature again. Former small holds, hunting lodges. The archway is one that might stand up most simply because it looks like it's much older, possibly either very early human or a later elven construction, based on the smoothness of the stone. But as he stands up, like taking some stuff from within, he simply says, "Well, the time has come." He doesn't look up like at anybody. He's just like looking through his scrolls. "I'm assuming that we have everything in order."
Yes, all of my pigeons are in the array. Sorry, ducks in a row.
Very good. He looks up to everybody and kind of says, "And we have enough individuals here, myself included, in order to do this procedure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that should be well enough." He opens the book again, the one that you had looked at, which contained the the ritual in order to summon this individual, this creature, and bind it. Kind of glancing within. "I will reiterate that the creature that we are summoning is not some trifling matter. This is not some lower level demon or devil. That it is a rather dangerous individual, and to proceed with as much caution as you can."
I think that I am ready.
Let's get our spells in order first. I'll start getting my buffs and stuff ready.
"Oh,
Sven
we will not be fighting it. In fact, if we were to need to combat this thing, I would not be summoning it, as we will all die. From what I
I
understand,
don't mean
this creature is the kind of thing that can cast miracles and wishes at its own discretion.
purely combat spells. We've got a few that can amplify our will and our resiliency.
Very good then.
Okay, Sven will cast upon himself. Nothing. Oh wait, no. Enhanced diplomacy. Whenever the time comes, and also he will put on the headband of charisma and take off his inspired wisdom 1.
Big boy. Come on.
You may want to. I feel like the bonus to will saves would probably be more valuable than
Big boy.
slight bonus to charisma.
Well, I
I don't-
Beacon of Luck.
No, I don't know if it's going to try and dominate me.
If I hit the Beacon of Luck, you can try to reroll a save. That might help.
I'm just going to say I have tons.
I don't know if I had anything else super in there.
I have a few
Yeah.
more.
I guess I can also spell resistance you, but we might want to wait until the ritual starts. Oh no, it's a minute per level, so sure. You can get spell resistance. It should be 21. Which probably it doesn't care, but you know, if it does care, they'll have to deal with it.
Oh, Fenrir, you mentioned something to me about giving some protection against evil. Might be a worthwhile time. What's the caster level for Fenrir?
Muted.
Fuck, I have that written down. Where the fuck did I write it?
Hold on.
I think 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's 8.
Don't know that I can. It doesn't apply to. It only applies to duration, so it's a difference of 1. But it seems like everybody else is in good shape, so I'm just going to
Well,
give
we want
everybody.
protection from chaos, actually.
Well, protection from evil is what I got. So
Oh, wait. No, if you know protection, then you know all 4 variants.
this is not a spell that I know. This is a spell that Fenrir knows.
Yes.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's not gonna hurt, I guess.
I could have sworn they were separate spells.
They are,
They are.
but
yeah.
if I was thinking if you as a spontaneous caster knew it, you knew all the variants. But yeah, if it's an item, then it picks one variety, and then that's what it does. I can give. Probably Barry needs the protection from chaos, but
Most likely.
if somebody else is more needing to not be dominated, then yeah, I can give it to
So-
them.
How long have I been quiet?
Dude, a
bit.
while. I tried to say you're muted, but
Shit, what was the last thing I said?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
That you said that you wanted a Pepsi and that your mom wouldn't give it to you, and that it was just one Pepsi.
Yeah, sorry, Sven. I was talking, but I guess that's fine. Sven's been quiet pretty much this whole time, I guess. Contemplating his future. At a game, I think the implication is that this thing is probably very, very, very powerful, and our protections aren't really going to do anything. But
I mean,
we'll see.
These protection spells don't necessarily have a CR limit.
Yeah. Could still get through it, but it probably would do something fancy like quicken, dispel magic, and then dominate us. You know. Just to establish, it'd be like, yeah, I see you have your little cute thing. Is no.
Yeah, like I said, man, pick a fight with this. This is like Rock's fault. Everyone dies. Even with Mercader there.
Yeah, no, I was saying that Sven's gonna have his charisma thing on, not the wisdom.
Yeah, we did hear that, yeah.
Okay.
Also, give Sven a heroism just for the bonus to saves.
Yippee!
And skill checks.
Oh, wait, I forgot the one last thing. And I pull out like a little like just a blank scroll, and I go over to Sven and kind of like wave my finger and starts to paint a picture of him.
Quick save feature.
It just takes 6 seconds, and then it's got a portrait of you.
Okay.
And roll it up and hand that over to you. Your image to do it with what you want with, but
Ben
only do
looks
have
over
this
at him.
opportunity left.
Sven looks over it and he seems actually kind of touched. Though he tries to keep stoic and not say anything. He kind of like gives an appreciating nod. Then eats it. He puts it away.
Dex just looks like he really wants to say. He's like, looks like almost offended at the instant portrait, and puts like a hand on his like own painting supplies he has tucked away somewhere. Fine, it's fine. It's not. That's not that good. It's pretty fucking good. Shit.
Hey, I can't draw. Okay, at least Phoenix can't.
It says while it is of too poor quality to sell, it is otherwise accurate enough to recognize the subject or to serve as the target for the image. Interesting.
Hey,
Anyway,
interesting.
You can technically get around that too, because it's an image of you, and it's still valid for that, even if you happen to look different. So,
Does anyone remember the 4chan Stoic post?
No.
No,
I
I'll
can't
post
say I
it.
do.
the brain can't do it right now. Oop.
Anyway, not important.
I know the character that's in. That's from.
All right. It's going to take a little while in order to get everything spread out. It is going to require the spreading of certain ashes, the painting of blood out into the grass in a very intricate pattern. It's probably going to take most of you in order to do this. Candles that are set up, incense that is also set up.
Sven handles the blood.
Yeah. Mercader then explains to everybody again, just, what you need to do. And after about a good 10-15, you are able to get yourself into position and count down to truth. Until then, we're going to take a small break. And once we get back, we will get into this and see how it goes. So, come back about 8:35, and we will see you all then. In a bit.
It's pronounced stoic.
Stoic.
All right, welcome back. It was an interesting conversation that we ended off on, but this do be America. Except the
All right,
person who
Gray,
made that
so-
comment was an American.
So we skip forwards to the next day. What happens?
Fuck yeah. Rocks fall and everyone dies.
I don't know.
Real.
Who decides to threaten the deity? I'm assuming it's either Daxius or maybe Vic. Maybe. If Garugamesh was here, it would be him. He would threaten the deity and get all of you killed.
I might threaten it if it's like really shitty. To be fair,
I can see it.
I have summoned a Hellhound before, so I probably have a fair tolerance for that.
All right. So, as I said, it takes you about 10-ish minutes in order to get everything set up.
Mhm.
And during that time, I'm assuming that's pretty nerve-wracking for the sacrificial lamb, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I'm actually skipping and dancing while I spread my own blood around in the ritual. No, Sven's pretty serious faced right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you explain to Sasha what was gonna happen?
That's a good point. I haven't. We're gonna have to do a flashback at some point of Sven telling Sasha and like spending a day with her or something.
Maybe that's what you did yesterday instead of being drunk for like
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. Maybe she got drunk too. She got to try it.
As a treat.
Yes, because for one cat it's okay. For the other cat it's not okay. For weird reasons.
It's poison for both.
I mean, it's poison for everyone.
We
Yes.
You get poison. You get poison. We all get poison.
So, it will be Mercader that will be leading the actual ritual. However, those of you who are participating as casters, you will all be giving me a set of 3 willpower checks each.
wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Am I counted in
like a
that?
will save?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
We should probably do those one at a time so we don't get all mixed up.
Yeah. I'll go first. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh.
Wow.
I'm
Oof.
doing
well,
too good.
Beacon of Luck lets you immediate action remake a saving throw, which I guess this kind of is. I figured it would be defensive, but
Yeah, I'll remake it. I'll redo it.
because I was also like, otherwise I was like, oh, I have sure casting ready to go, and it's like it's not a caster level check, and I'm like, well, I wasn't sure if that one would help anyway, but now it definitely won't.
Okay, I will go next.
Damn.
All right.
And that
Oh,
may or
next.
may not be increased depending on how close people are to me.
You're gonna be standing around in a circle. There we go.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank God. At least at some point when I needed to roll high, the dice were like, Okay, you could do it this time. Above 50%.
Each time.
Graciously, give you these crumbs.
So, sprinkle a little crack on them. Call it a day. So, it takes a little bit to perform the ritual, like probably about a minute, minute and a half of repetition of words in Draconic, of hand movements being done in unison, and a feeling, a pulse of both energy and pressure that comes out from the center of the, functionally, the summoning circle that you have drawn in the grass. It's pretty sizable, about 30 feet across, which is why you needed that much blood. And, well, it makes sense. As the ritual is nearing its completion, and those of you who rolled on the lower end feel almost like being punched in the face, the sky darkens slightly, and then more.
Is Sven standing in the middle of the ritual or off to the side?
No, you're part of it, and you're included in the casting circle.
So I'm in the middle of it?
No, you're standing on the side as well. However, you're at the focus of it.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's standing on the perimeter.
Sven looks up to the sky.
And finally, as the chanting and the movements reach their zenith, a pulsing energy comes down and seems to begin to build up from the ground itself. A multicolored, pearlescent glow that grows and grows and grows. And as it reaches perhaps a height of 25 or 30 feet,
No.
Tendrils, strands of energy rush from the side of the summoning circle and grasp at it and begin to yank it open and pull from within. And what emerges from the portal, functionally, that was torn open in space-time and before you, is a very large, very imposing-looking, almost snake-like creature with more arms than any creature should have, more tails than any creature should have, and definitely far more eyes on its hooded head than any creature should have. It is a blackish purple, and the tendrils of energy run to each of its arms and to its throat. It does have a sort of Naga-esque body structure to it, vaguely. However, it is as big as a house. As the portal doesn't necessarily close behind it, but narrows to the point where it's like a door just barely ajar. Its eyes open a almost sickly yellow, and it just sort of scans around with a, even those of you who have perhaps seen such imposing things before, a look on it like, who the fuck am I going to be killing today?
Sven, would stepping forward disrupt the ritual? Do I have to stand still?
I don't think you asked, and I don't think you know. However, its eyes, all six of them, finally do rest on you. And there's sort of like a tug at its, like, mouth of recognition.
Sven puffs up his chest a bit. He's deep down very afraid, but using the courage invested in him through a week of preparation, culminating into this moment, he forces himself to present as brave. And he says, I'm sorry, I just read something in the chat. Lagros, I have gone to bargain.
It
Fucking Arya.
Yeah, it's a map of Galapagos Islands.
Yeah, Arya said someone said the name of this thing, and then Arya responded Galapagos. Pelagos. It caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. Its eyes just kind of settle on you, and it seems to pull at its bonds as it leans forward. And in kind of a grumbling, almost half-hissing voice, it simply responds, "You've bargained before, child."
And your deal was misleading. It led to a fate that I did not wish for. As a child, I could not have known. I am here to bargain back for the power that you have given.
He just like
Take
stands
it.
up to
I
his
don't
full
want
height
it
again.
anymore. I've served you and I don't wish to serve you any longer.
Mortals always think. They always think they're getting something for free. You agreed to our terms.
I was a child.
That doesn't change the fact that you came to me of your own volition. You offered yourself of your own volition. I told you what would be required of you. Just because
You
you
told me of-
assumed
You
that it
told
would
me
be-
blood of squirrels and forest creatures, not of people.
I told you to act as the arm of the wilds. Does the wilds simply stop at the foot of man?
Ben pauses, and he says, "No, it does not. But I have fought against their encroachment. I do not wish to kill.
When you
Not in-
felt like it.
I don't want this anymore. This is not what I thought it would be. I stand before you to demand you take it back."
Oh, it makes demands now. Should you break this little covenant of mine, I'm not sure you exactly like the outcome. Because that's
Then
the
let's make a
funny
deal.
part. Oh, we've already made a deal.
A new one. You relinquish this, and hold on, let me pull it up. The moment my body releases this soul in death, it shall belong to you. I do not wish this power in life. I want to roll. Okay, so a little bit out of game. This is a slightly deceptive deal. So I want to roll diplomacy and use my inspiration to entice and convince it to this wording of the deal.
Bluff.
Bluff?
You're lying. Diplomacy
No,
is
this
done
isn't
in
a
good
lie.
faith.
This isn't a lie. It's okay. Let me type out.
Like a half truth?
It's just a leaving
So
out.
it's a leaving out of. Basically, I'm trying to forge a new contract using words that I can in the future abuse. But it is a true contract.
And what use would I have for a being's soul?
You'd have more use for it now. Or, I'm sorry, you'd have more use of my soul than a dead body.
Hmm.
Sven, you can't be
Yes,
serious.
I'm a devil. It just kind of leans forward a bit, like bringing itself, almost pulling at the bonds down to your level. And there's definitely a look in its eye of, if that wizard there wasn't the one holding the reins, you would all be dead.
I was going to ask if I could knowledge planes to be like, I'm pretty sure Proteans do at least, like, if they end up with a soul, they can do something with it. They're not just like, oh, cute, going on the soul shelf with the rest of my souls.
Yeah.
Maybe?
That'll be knowledge planes, yeah. Proteans can take souls. It's not a super common thing. They're much more about kind of primordial chaos. So they might be able to make something out of it or use that energy to do something else with it, but they're not excuse me. They're not as wrapped up in it in, say, the way demons or devils or certain other outsiders are. So it's
It
not
is
like
all
he's
I have-
offering up nothing, but it's an interesting fact.
It is all I have to offer to a creature such as you.
You have a life. You offered up service. Service is useful.
And take my service in death.
Brings change.
I'll repeat what I said. Then take my service in death. But not in this life.
It raises up again a bit and says, if I take back what I granted you, you ungrateful little shit, I'm going to take more than I gave.
This is what I offer.
And will
I
take
understand.
that and more.
What more would you take?
It gives no answer as it like pulls at its bonds with like 3 of the 6 arms and reaches out towards you. Any reactions from anybody else during this time?
Yeah. We're outside, right?
Yes.
We don't. If I cut off line of effect from anyone in the area, does it disrupt the spell casting? Or
Probably. Mercator is the one that seems to be maintaining it. Terse and most likely yourself are the ones that are acting as kind of backup. Mercator is very obviously straining at like maintaining a lot of this, as is Terse. You can definitely feel it as well. That was what part of those checks were, is that it is a mental battle distributed amongst all of you in order to keep this thing maintained.
Yeah, I guess. Well, the one thing is, I could throw a wall of stone in the way, but I don't want to fuck up the whole ritual by doing that. Just to stop it from getting to him, basically.
I cast Spike Growth.
Give me a knowledge arcana.
Ew.
I'll do that too, actually, yeah.
But what are magic? I don't study that my whole life or nothing.
Sven, I think you're the first one. I don't think you're stupid. I think you fucking realize what you're dealing with. Like, you've been through this, even if you were a naive child.
You don't
You have been through this.
even look.
This is the way it's gonna go.
Yeah, which is why he's really trying to get the guy to accept a soul rather than some ambiguous else that he's taking.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're bright enough to know that maybe don't interrupt the ritual. As for the rest
Yeah.
of you, the other 2 people who made that roll, Vernix, since you have a plus 14 in your knowledge arcana as like a skill, you watch Sven does not react.
Mhm. Just be readying an action to cast the old holy ice weapon. Yeah, my arm just reaches down and I pull out the flask of holy water I'm like, mm-hmm.
Its body comes down with it, like letting the other three arms kind of go back so it can almost stretching the bonds to one side as it nears you and says, I will take it. And I will make sure that you can't try and weasel out of this one later, you walking rug. And it
That's
reaches
not
out
fair.
with all three of its arms and grabs you. It's like most of your legs, all your torso, and then your head. Like, this thing is fucking huge. And backs
Big wide
up.
eyes.
It's like, it holds you out, in front of it, and this is not pleasant, I will say. It's not, obviously, it's not, tearing at you or anything, it's just holding you. But the rest of you hear, the sound of the energy coursing through. Sven, I would like you to describe what it is like to go through this. Because this, last time when you went through it and you received this, it happened over a period of weeks and months. Now it is happening in 20 seconds.
So, have you ever been so incredibly sick that you just cough and cough and cough and your chest hurts and burns and you have to keep coughing, but it hurts beyond belief? That's what it's like in his chest. It's this rending, horrific pain. That's how I would describe it.
Any calling out? Or just the...
Yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't actually make any noise so the thing wouldn't peak.
Yes.
Oh no, I made very loud noise.
Oh really?
Did it actually cut out?
Yeah,
We didn't hear a thing.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect pantomime.
It is a coursing of energy that goes ground up to the hands, hands up into the sky, almost to the dome, which runs over the top of the ritual and back again. And it's the creature is giving almost a ghastly smile as the energy courses through. The dome kind of shaking. And after about 20 seconds of almost like watching somebody go through horrendous surgery without any anesthesia, it slowly comes to a stop, and 10 feet in the air, it opens one hand, opens the second, opens the third, and lets him drop. You hit the ground into the soft grass. A bit of smoke rushing off of your form from where the arcane energies course through you and took and took and took and then branded.
Ouch. I would scream again, but you wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Roblox oof sound.
It
hey,
body
caught it that time.
goes back, and whoever's standing closest to Mercator, you hear him say, "Grab the body! Grab him! Now!"
I'll immediately run over.
Okay. Definitely a lot easier to move the man now, considering he's almost as small as you.
As small as me?
Yeah.
Is this a good time to share the new character icon?
Go ahead.
Hell yeah.
Wait,
All right, guys. New character icon. I spent an ungodly amount of time on this.
Yo.
I wanted to mimic the same pose, similar clothing, similar background, but this man has, I think, 6 con. He's mangy.
What the fuck?
Wait.
Yeah.
That's how much charisma Natari has. What the?
So yeah, you grab at his clothes, and his
shit.
drawers basically come down because they don't wrap around his waist anymore. and you like
Yeah,
grab it like the upper body and have to like pull him, and it's like pulling a pillowcase where the pillow inside is like a size too small. But you were able
Yeah, my
to,
clothes probably don't fit anymore.
yeah, you were
Sven-
able to drag him out with relative ease. I would say relative ease. But what, as he finally
Quentin.
gets out, as he gets out of the ritual area, you're able to get a better look at him. That he still is catfolk. He still has the same colorations and maybe even some of the same marks, but he is significantly thinner, much smaller, almost sickly looking, with like whiskers that are kind of broken at angles or really strangely shaped or curled, or like has that like quality to the fur where it's like you could clean it and brush it, and it always seems kind of like not great in a way. And he's just kind of heaving, like as if he can't get
Throwing
breath
up
into
blood.
his own chest.
Throwing up blood.
Mm-hmm.
Shake
I'm
off some
gonna-
positive energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the. It's all I fucking have. I'm gonna give him the rope of climbing and just like command it to go through his belt loops and tighten up so he can actually wear his fucking pants right now.
Yeah.
I don't need them.
After that, Mercader steps forward into the circle and like seems to begin speaking with the creature in a way that is significantly more forceful. The creature kind of hisses back. I don't think anybody here speaks this language.
Ben
Except
understands it.
for Sven, yeah.
So I did cast tongues on myself before we started as well.
Okay, if you got it.
Mercader
So
is speaking
Sven
in
is-
Protean directly to the creature, demanding knowledge and information of the planes from whence it once came, before Mariana, his own predecessor, bound the creature under Lake Belcon. And the creature tries to do the same thing, like offering up some sort of like bargain, and Mercader doesn't really have it, almost seeming to force, like pull at the bonds before like eventually the creature bends down, and there's like a conversation in like forced hushed tones, and then finally like the eyes of both the creature and Mercader glow, and there is an exchange of something, energy, knowledge, whatever. This is a creature that isn't from this material plane. Who the hell knows? And that lasts maybe about a minute and a half, while the rest of you are able to tend to Sven, before finally Mercader backs off, pushes the creature away, and begins the chant to end the ritual and banish the creature back to whence it came.
Yeah, I'll echo that one, because I'm like, I kind of like gave the positive energy, and I look like I want to attend to Sven, but I'm also like, I really can't like not be readying to at least try to do something
Mhm.
if it is like kind of tired of this being bound thing, being of chaos and all that. So
Mhm.
now that I've done my bargaining thing, let's kill the rest of you.
Well, that was the purpose of the ritual, at least. The gate begins to open again, and the creature almost seems willing to go back to it. Its eyes focus primarily on Mercader, but eventually go over to Sven before its head goes in, and there's that look in its eyes of, we'll see each other again, motherfucker.
At that, I am going to cut him off from Sven with a wall of stone.
There's no words. It's just a look before he vanishes.
Oh, okay.
Can
It was
I-
that quick.
Right before he vanishes, can I pick up a stone off the ground and throw it in its general
Don't you-
direction as it blinks out?
Don't you try do a Columbo on me, Summon. I know how this fucking goes. Well, guess we're good. Oh, one more thing. Dominate person? You like to dominate?
Are
Yeah.
you giving me ideas? Because
I've done it sometimes. It's very mean.
Thinking back to the events of 2 days ago and remembering exactly how all of the fights were started in the mansion, I'm going to go ahead and stop Daxius from throwing the rock.
I really want to throw this rock.
yeah,
It's like-
Sven, as it vanishes, you definitely hear that thought of "we will meet again."
Don't know
Or-
where. Don't know when.
And it goes back through the portal and closes, and the energy disperses in a howling gale of wind and force as the clouds which had swirled above in a almost like a coming storm begin to dissipate, returning the glade to a stillness that almost seems alien.
So I will say, just for the rest of you to know, Sven's probably going to be unresponsive for like an hour as he reels from not just his body like wildly changing, but also his mind. So he's like just panting, like coughing, and not really responding to anything for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just
Just
gonna
stand.
be trying to check him out for abnormalities and stuff. He give you surprise cancer.
Here, it's a
Hey.
Russian surprise.
Yeah, does Sven get the sickle cell or anything else as a free parting gift?
It seems hard to tell. He is obviously very physically weak. Whether that's the way he once was or whatever, you have no idea. But it definitely has the appearance, and even a lot of you who are looking on definitely have the idea that when it said it was going to take more than it gave, it wasn't fucking around.
Does anyone know what orange means on these things?
On Mike?
The Yetis? I've
Hold-
never
you
seen
find it.
Hold it in.
orange.
Hold it in. It'll cycle through. There are other functions that allow you to balance. It'll get back to the.
Okay, well it's green now because I unplugged it by accident.
That works too.
What even is orange?
I used to know. I'd have to look it up again.
It almost sounded like you were slightly quieter there for a minute.
For like a split second, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Technology.
It was the Protean. He took my microphone.
No.
I didn't heed the warning.
You'd say he was taking more than you would imagine.
Yeah, I'll have some create water ready. I also figure I probably will have thought ahead to get yogurt or something that's at least more beneficial in case there was blood loss. Because I was like, if this guy really likes blood and he's like, oh, you want to get out of my blood thing? Oh, why don't you just give the rest of what you owe right now? And could have been, yeah. So
I mean,
there's some
kinda.
beef jerky and stuff.
Orange juice.
Cookies.
I was really hoping I could deploy him with it in some way. My +9, using my diplomacy one last time. Oh well.
I'm not saying it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean it could have been.
Well, in any case, Vic's just gonna, pick Sven up and just, But we need to take him back. It's not gonna do any good just sitting out here in the countryside.
Did you say her? You're already making comments about him being smaller? I see how it is.
No, I said we need to take him back. It's not going to do any good being in the countryside.
I heard her as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she's such a beautiful lady.
Already making fun of him.
We don't have Gilgamesh here to do it, so.
Yeah.
I think he would be
Terse-
taller or shorter than Garunish.
I think Terse is definitely there's a lot that happened. Yeah. Mercator is very visibly exhausted. For kind of obvious reasons.
Are you alright, ma'am? I'm asking without looking at her, by the way.
Ma'am?
Oh, Mercator's not. Okay.
Aurelio. It's a man.
Oh. Oh,
Very
okay.
pretty man, but a man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the confusing thing. Because I was like, oh, I literally remembered it as Aurelia, so.
Aurelio, yeah. Like,
Are you alright?
Emperor.
Are you alright, man?
He does have long, like, golden hair as well. Just kind of, like, pushes it back, and I got what I needed. I think. And just sort of leaves it at that. He
As long as
will
you're alright.
walk ahead. He does, like, inspect Sven, but it is very much in a, well, kind of, like, look. He's not a healer, so it's not like he can really do much of anything, and also, you know...
He's not hurt, is he?
I mean, physically, technically, no, but,
Yeah. Also, the thing that don't exist magic to heal that,
yeah.
except for the ones that are like, oh yeah, just get rid of permanent insanity. Why not?
Yeah. He leads you back to the wide gate and uses the same magic to open the door once again, pushing it, actually pulling it inward, and allowing you to exit back out onto the campus grounds of the tower and keep.
I
No.
follow through, not because I want to, but because I'm being carried.
Yes.
Once you're on the other side, like, the door is closed and you hear the magic kind of vanish, and Aurelio, Mercator, he simply kind of regards all of you, but then looks to Terse and say, we need to speak about a few things, so... And Terse kind of looks back and says, well, finally, I've been trying to talk to you for a week and a half. He looks to all of you and says, are you all good? As good as you're gonna be?
Seem to be.
Look it back.
Breathing.
Right. Then if you need me, hopefully I'll be back in a few hours. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the help. We'll leave you to it. Let you know if there's anything else.
He nods, kind of looks to Sven with that look on his face, kind of like, what the fuck did you do, kid? And then just turns around to walk with Mercator back towards the main tower. You are all you're able to hear, Mercator doesn't necessarily try to be quiet, but you hear, so about the pilot and the thing on his leg, as he goes into the tower.
I look like I really want to go and eavesdrop.
Just turn
But-
to the group. Should I go and eavesdrop?
I
If it was
just
relevant to us, Terz will tell us later.
And if he doesn't, or leaves out details that we should know about,
Do you think it's worth risking that to break into a wizard's tower, where you will almost certainly be seen immediately?
it's on my bucket list.
Oh, hopefully you've
Maybe.
got that list handy, because you should take care of this first.
yeah. As much as I want to say yes, I'd rather risk a tour on it. If only because he's less likely to receive any sort of punishment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough.
I think I'll probably go with what Vic's saying on this one.
Right. I'll start carrying him down. Dexys, could you go rent us a cart? I don't know that it'd be good to carry him like this across town.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I'll
If
just
only there was like a
cast.
phantom carriage spell.
I do have a spell like that. I'd rather save it. It's a scroll I've been holding on to, and I'd rather spend the money. It's more of an emergency spell.
Yeah, you could also just hire a hansom. Like when you get down to the streets, like that's not too difficult.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
we've got
just
about
gonna
20 minutes of walking
retreat.
around this jerk-off spiral driveway. So
Mhm.
I figured Dax's
Yeah.
has probably got more speed capacity than the other two.
And I'll even cast Astral Limb just to get the extra 5 feet.
But,
Can I attempt to shortcut through?
If you want to, yeah, give me acrobatics. Give me 2 of them.
Okay, good start. Even better. We see Daxius just fall directly off of the
Yeah, like
Ow, 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 ow,
it's
ow,
not,
all the
it's
way
not
down.
like a straight cliff or anything, but it's definitely like a steeper thing that's like taking you through like all this undergrowth and brush and like thorny shit and you go through that like a cannonball. You get through the first one, you're like, that sucks. Let me do it for the second one. I can do it better this time. Oh shit. I think you get yourself like hung up both times, so by the time you get to the end, the others are getting there like basically at the same time, and you look like
There's
hell.
no way. There's no.
Yes.
Just
Do not step on top of the power buttons.
slowly stand up, look at you guys. Just turn the other way and go for a carriage.
Yeah, Vic just kind of like looks at him, just on the ground, just. All right.
Yeah. I'll let him walk that one off.
The only thing hurt is his pride. Maybe his ass.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to find a handsome or brougham in order to hire, and actually it costs you like 5 silver to get across town. It's fine.
Okay.
And be thankful that you don't have a tail, Vic. It's never pleasant to fall on it.
I don't suppose I've ever thought about that.
Just, yeah. Bones getting jammed together and everything.
Alright. It is a quiet, probably solemn ride back through Moonbrook. You are finally deposited out front of Banner Home. Pay the driver, and we're able to go inside.
Probably just take Sven up to his room to rest.
At some point before you lay him down, he just starts crying. Still not very coherent. Sven will emerge later.
Vic does not have the emotional capacity to handle that, so he just kind of backs off.
You place him in there, and Luga just kind of gives you a look, says, "Why don't you go sit down downstairs? I'm gonna take care of this."
All right. Is Sasha around? Just out of character?
Yes. Yeah, she remained in the room.
Much smaller now, I presume.
No, she's the same size.
I mean, yeah, she just won't play with you the same way.
And doesn't seem to look at you with the same intelligence she used to have.
Yeah.
I look over to Lugo and I'm just like, and get you some food or something to drink.
Myself, something simple, and for him, something that can be fed through. Oh, what do you call them? Those
Straw.
bags that you use to put icing on cake.
I'll
Extruder.
you know, and stop me if I'm
Squeeze bag. Yeah, squeeze bag.
overstepping here, but I'm, just as a matter of course, I'd probably have made sure that Sven had teeth. Just that would be.
Well, considering that his
Seriously,
lips aren't
I'd have to give the Protean points for creativity. I never would have guessed.
considering that his lips aren't overlapping one another, I think his jaw has teeth.
Mhm.
Also, a wide, shallow bowl, water, and cloth.
I'm on it. I'll just quickly run downstairs.
It's called a piping bag. I did look it up. It's called a piping bag.
Oh, yeah, the
hell's an
the
extruder?
cake
then?
one.
Lugo's about to lay down some pipe.
You know, he could probably smother you.
He could.
Yeah.
Fireball.
So.
Just like in Elder Scrolls Arena, old man who has studied spells for 87 years turns the corner and suicide bombs himself for barely a third of your health bar. Just like he trained for.
It was a noble cause.
Okay.
Stupid.
Yeah, so
but noble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Extruder
good
was definitely
one.
not the word I was looking for there.
So
Whatever they want, I'll go for it. Although obviously some stuff that I know is easier on the stomach, because yeah.
He does take pretty decent care of you. There isn't like any real judgment. For what a lot of the people that are around you seem to think of him, Lugo isn't nearly like he's not a bastard, and yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you mostly, I'm sure you're in and out for a while.
Yeah.
And
He's plagued with
capacities.
visions and nightmares.
Yeah. Mostly things that like have been, things that could be, things that never should be. Some you recall, a lot you don't, and let's be honest, on your own sanity, that's probably for the best. But you definitely feel the touch that it took, and well, he definitely took a little more than what he gave you, but he left behind almost like a magical brand where you can like feel a bit of the presence, not really like forcing anything, but sort of like a reminder. The badge you can't take off, I suppose. Just not branded into, well, not cut into your forehead for the rest of your life.
Necker. Probably nothing like that.
As for the rest of you, I don't know what you do. Why don't you tell me?
Actually going to sit like relatively nearby. Like if there's like an upstairs like table or something, like a balcony table or somewhere that's just like when he comes down I can I can see him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, probably, just give him some space, honestly, because I'm like,
No, I'm not like sitting right in front of his door.
Yes. That's where at first you were like, I'll be nearby, and I was like, well, then I'm like, yeah.
There is a bench out on the landing above the common room. It's really not meant for like dining or anything, but you were able to sit there with a tankard and no one bothers you. It is a bit before Terse returns. He
All right. Oh. I like stand up and then kind of look around, like I'm like, oh, why did I? Oh yeah, and I just sit back down.
Terse passes by, not saying too much, but his Pyralsta kind of flitters off of his shoulder to come over, and he speaks in Draconic, that is the language that that Flick can speak, and basically says to you, "When you have time," and then kind of launches off and flitters back.
Oh, we've got time now. I'd head over. I'll have taken probably a couple of bottles of booze out of the Vardo. Just have them nearby, so probably have a cup of the sour applejack. That sounds good.
Could we wait for Sven or just let him rest for a moment?
I need something after all of this.
I meant for the meeting with Toes.
Oh, yes. Then let me just go and inform him.
I don't think he's in much of a state to be informed.
No, terse. I mean,
I see.
which yeah, I'll get that over to him, or I'll be like, you know, how did the meeting go?
He makes sure that he's like upstairs and pouring himself a glass of bourbon from the wet bar in his own office. Who has gone up other than you?
Oh,
Daxis, he does pass by you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to go and tell him, Sven probably want to be here for this, so.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
He puts the cap back onto the decanter and just kind of gives a nod.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably bring, well, at least something to drink for myself. See how the others feel about that.
Okay.
I think we're all just kind of waiting for now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got at least a little bit of topic of conversation anyway. I'm gonna be like, so, yeah, it's a lot, I think. But it's certainly better than coming apart at the proverbial seams.
Are you speaking with the group about this? The two that are not laid up, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to think it's for the best, but remains to be seen, I suppose.
If it's at least got his hold off of his mind, then I think so.
Fireball.
Sorry,
Sorry, just fucking
just from
fireball.
upstairs, everything's fine. Boof. And that's how Lugo died, but not Sasha. She still had leftover evasion. Oh wait, no. She just hit HP.
Nothing good ever comes out of pacts with entities like these.
Not necessarily true. Every single one of the ones who I've summoned I have a pact with. It's just a very, shall we say, low risk, high sort of benefit for them.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that to bite you in the ass someday, somehow, which it probably will.
It's something that a lot of spellcasters would have to deal with, so we'll see. But as of yet, no, the main thing is, I mean, a lot of the things they tell you not to make bargains with are that way for good reason. So I've not been present for them, but I've been told of occasions where things went much worse.
I think this is one of them.
It may look that way to the outsider, but don't really know what all necessarily was going to be happening. I mean, some simply don't renegotiate. So,
Fair enough.
compared to being dragged down to hell or something, it's certainly not pleasant, but it's better than some fates.
Well, when he dies, he will be.
It's not. Well,
Dragged somewhere. I don't fucking know. Hell or wherever else. Astral Sea. Fucking
Pandemonium is
Pandemonium.
very
Yeah.
changeable place, but normally, I guess there aren't a lot of souls that end up there, from my recollection. I would assume that one would still acclimate to the plane. It's a, yeah, not something to be celebrating, other than the fact that Sven is still here.
We could celebrate that, I suppose.
And also try not to look so dour. It's not like I'm any good at it. But you also both suck at it.
Yeah, I think it's a group issue.
Mm-hmm. A
Like,
little bit of
yeah.
right. Tip into alcohol a little bit and maybe, you know, loosen up slightly.
Nice. It sounds so nice right now.
Still don't really know what's going to happen, I mean. Which is the conversation that I don't want to have without Sven here.
I think we should
Speaking
give
of-
Sven some time to
Sven is
acclimate.
there behind
No.
me. Oh!
There's a darkness looming over him. He has a blade in his hand. It's the Doom Blade.
Mhm.
Natari checks her pockets. Everyone's eyes are wide.
Shit. My goddamn sword.
Sven whispers, "Shouldn't have come here."
And he remembers that we already stole all that stuff, and the Doomblade disappears from his hand.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Hold on, let me find a replacement real quick.
Sven writes me a note like a few days ago. Can you make me a Doomblade? It will be for a really funny joke. After the ritual. Okay.
Casually makes a Doom Blade.
Just stabbed through my chest.
That's one of those
Working
things
on
where
it.
it's like, that's one of the things where someone requests it, and you're like, should I really be making a Doom Blade? It's like, should I make an uber evil murder death blade?
I know. Captain Edgefuck has been, really kind of on the tip of his head, like he's gonna snap and go after us any time. But he does make a lot of crits, so should give him the 9 lives stealer, just to make sure that good at killing things like he usually is.
Nothing wrong can happen from giving clearly evil named stuff to people.
Exactly.
It's just a name, guys.
Yes.
So,
back in Sven's room. Is Lugo here?
yes.
Alright. Sven goes from crying to laughing to crying again, and then he grows silent, and he's staring up at the ceiling, and slowly he comes to, blinking his eyes, taking a slow, deep breath, chest still burning with pain. He looks over to Lugo, and then he looks over to himself, raises an arm up. It's one of those movie shots where you're from the person's POV, and it's like one of those things where, you know in the movies where like the hero gets turned into like a frog or something, and they put their hands in front of them, and they're like, oh.
hmm
Sven does that, where he's just kind of looking at himself. Does Lugo say anything?
Not really. There's definitely a an almost excess of patience and just kind of waiting.
Sven's kind of looking at himself for a while, and then he sighs and sits up, turns to put his feet on the ground, which barely reach the ground now. Kind of leans over. It's just kind of quiet and thinking to himself. Ah, shit. This is gonna sound insane, but marinara spilled.
No.
Better than, I guess, the first thing that you said, spilling.
That's Sven talking. I spilled my marinara.
Brought up, like, mozzarella sticks.
That's what.
Do you want anything to eat? No. Are you sure? Okay. Do you want mozzarella sticks?
Lugo's just been piping mozzarella sauce directly into your mouth.
Oh, that's why
Feeling
he's been
insane
crying.
doing it. Like, why is this motherfucker with mozzarella sticks? What the fuck?
Don't ask why I had don't ask why I had marinara to be spilled on my desk.
Now I
not
want to
important.
ask.
This bit is important. Now here, another piping hot mozzarella stick, definitely not full of burning juice.
Like pushing the entire thing into your mouth with one finger.
He's been waiting for this moment. He knew one day he'd be in this position, and then he was like, I'll take care of them, and we were like, oh no, he's got it because, you know, he cares about Sven so much, when in reality he's just like pulling up the gun, like, any of you try and save him, you know what'll happen.
Is that why Lugo bought an air fryer?
Oh, God.
The scrolls have foretold of the random marinara.
Badger. Hello. So
Okay, good. It didn't ruin my court summons.
Wait. We gotta circle back to that later. What?
Jury duty.
Yeah, I figured, but like, I've never known someone who has actually had to do that.
He's been summoned like 5 times.
We don't
Swear
have
God.
to go over that. That's personal
It's
stuff.
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can go over it
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
I've
I just
had
thought it
like
was interesting.
I've had like a few of those, and I don't think I've shown up to them over the years. But apparently
That's like a $500 fine.
they're like, I'm gonna fine you, and then they're like, we didn't. But okay. I wouldn't go by my experience, definitely. I think it's been like twice, and I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to go to this, and maybe it's only if not enough people show up. Then they're like fine time.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So Sven puts away the mozzarella sticks, and he says to Lugo, "Did you see it?" I gotta work on the voice a bit.
Oh, that was great.
Did I see what?
Sven's quiet. He just kind of looks at his hands again. He says, "I guess not." He stands up, notices that his clothes are falling off. He still has his sleeves of many garments, though. So he looks over to his bag and he says, "I think I have to change." And he looks over to Lugo, expecting him to turn around.
He is already basically halfway to the door. Sasha has just been sitting up and watching this whole scene. And like Lugo just kind of steps out, closes the door.
Well, the
That's
only
the-
clothes that
You see Lugo come out and begin walking towards you.
the only thing that'll fit Sven that he has is the sleeves of many garments, I guess. So,
That's just an illusion. So
yep.
just walking around naked.
Mhm. I hope no one has true seeing.
This place, definitely.
Super dumb.
Yeah.
Like, see if they have a lost and found. Just
wearing a pair of cargo shorts and a Mickey Mouse t-shirt.
There's
guess-
the one joke from that one podcast where it's like, the only thing that fits you is a Playboy bunny outfit.
What podcast is this?
So it's another D&D podcast.
Okay. So Sven, he still has the rope around his waist and pants, which now are way too big. So he spends time rolling up the pant legs. Still keeps the pants on, and he uses the sleeves of many garments to cover the rest of his appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's just gonna have pants on, I guess, until he can get new clothing.
Seeing that Lugo has left the room, Sven, you're gonna get a knock at your door.
Come in.
Just opens it, and you actually see Natari standing there.
Oh, Sven looks down.
She kind of looks at you up and down. Wow.
Yeah. I know.
I mean,
he starts grabbing his stuff, trying
well,
not to pay much attention to her, mostly because he's embarrassed.
well, you, you drop this and just throws something onto the bed and then immediately runs back out.
It's marinara.
It's
Marinara.
marinara.
Splatters all over the fucking room like a Molotov cocktail.
She throws it face up, and you are able to see. She actually put down a painting. It's of a scene that looks exactly like the Banner home from above, and the focus seems to be on a catfolk individual in the center of the room. But while everyone else is kind of like sitting and having like a party, kind of standing and looking around, almost confused.
Is that cat folks Sven?
It is Sven. It's a very good picture, and you can see like there's some shadow work done, although it's kind of rough. It seems to have been done like hastily. Like shadow work of like the shadows kind of like creeping in on Sven.
Okay. Sven will look at it, and he won't say anything. He will fold it up, or not fold it up. He'll put it away nicely, however that means. Or he'll just leave it there so it dries if it's wet.
It seems like it's had a few hours to dry.
He'll leave it in the room. And then, I guess... have a bit of anxiety about stepping out. Kind of embarrassed, hoping that he could just disappear. And remembers, hey, I can disappear. And then he thinks about it. And I, as a player, think about it.
Do it.
What time is it?
Noon. It
About
says
noon, one-ish.
Sven is a bit embarrassed right now and wants to get actual clothes. So he will cast invisibility on himself and then go to leave, carrying his backpack and pouch. And he'll stop by the table to tell them, I need to get clothes. I will be back.
Okay.
I presume that's you, Sven. So,
Yes.
right. Well, we've got some business with Ters to talk about, so whenever you're ready, we'll be here.
The voice is deeper now.
What do you smoke?
I don't
What
feel
do they
very
sound
well.
like?
I It was all the coughing, I'm sure. Sven coughs a bit, then heads out.
All right.
All right. Well, don't take care of yourself out there, as he's already left.
And then eventually he becomes visible. We don't have to roleplay it out too much unless you want to. I'm just
really.
gonna get actual clothes.
Yeah, you can go over to the Griffin Market and buy clothes there without a problem.
I want to buy clothes that. No, I'm just gonna get new adventuring clothes. Explorer's outfit.
Okay.
Sturdy boots, leather breeches, or a belt, a shirt, gloves, and a cloak. Basically just generic adventuring outfit. With a cowl
Mm-hmm.
that he'll pull over his head because he doesn't like showing his face right now. And then he will find somewhere to change into those clothings, and he will rejoin the party.
All right.
He steps in to the tavern, visible now, and makes his way to the table and doesn't say anything. Just sits down, head kind of low.
Well, hopefully you're doing a bit better.
I suppose so. We needed to talk to Thurs.
Yes, he's upstairs.
Takes a slow, long breath, coughs. I suppose we should talk to him.
Right. If you feel like a drink, help yourself. Realize we've had it sitting in the Varda for weeks now, and
No, I already feel like shit. I don't need more.
all right.
I mean, it helps me. It might help you.
I'll pass for now.
Yeah.
I mean, I just mean from a medical perspective. Like, it could take the edge off.
What you mean?
I read a few medical books.
Sven's
And
quiet
also
and lets the thought
upset
linger in the
stomach.
air. Well, we should probably go then. Yeah.
Rubs his temple.
Right.
We can talk after Turs. If he needs us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Everyone in the tavern starts saying yes.
Yeah.
Weep.
So the coalition of beers was created.
The protein at the bar says yes.
Wearing a Groucho Marx mask. Anyway, we head up to go talk to Turs then.
Okay.
Mhm.
You up to the second floor and enter into the office. The door's ajar, so you don't have to knock. You hear Terse speaking, but as you open the door, you see that he's speaking with Cyrus. Both of them are sitting in like the seating area in the center of the office. Like there's like basically low couches that face like, one another over a coffee table. The way that both of them look, it's not serious, but they're not like, this isn't a pleasant conversation. Both of them kind of look up to you, and this is the first time Cyrus is seeing you, now that is done, but obviously Terse must have like, hey, heads up. There's definitely a muted look of, oh.
Yeah. Sven notices and he kind of just like pulls his cowl a little tighter.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything. Looks away.
Yeah. Other than that, like as you step in, you just hear Tur say, "Close the door."
I'll close the door behind us.
Help yourself to the bar. Once everybody's ready, come sit over here.
Fingers twitch as I instinctively reach towards it. Just. All right, sit down.
But it's not 5 o'clock yet.
I'll, kind of just show my bottle. Like I'll be like, it's there.
I'm
Can't
just
say anything.
staring at it.
And pour myself a refill.
Like a totally well-adjusted person, just ignoring the conversation and staring at the alcohol.
Yeah, totally well adjusted.
Totally well adjusted. As you guys sit down, Cyrus does like scoot to the one side in order to allow for enough space for everyone to sit down. Terse similarly kind of like leans back into the corner of the couch and says, "I was able to catch up with Mercader finally, this smug bastard. But I guess he was doing his own research given the severity and gravity of some of the questions that were outstanding at the moment. And we at least have some sort of answer. So, the parasite, which had latched itself onto the human's leg during the attack on his device.
Oliver. He has a name.
So, basically it comes down to the fact that that creature was a... Parasite is probably the best way to put it, but it was a mixture of a lower life form and a spawn of the creature that most likely assaulted him and the bird, the wizard, while they were out in the field before Cyrus here was able to collect them and survey the area. We at least know that they were probably from the in-between, the Dark Tapestry, or possibly somewhere in the Dream Realms, the Dream World, which there's a decent bit of overlap there considering the oddness of, well, how the stable Dream World functions. That's never been a great specialty of mine. And even though I've had to deal with certain houses among the Drow, asking certain questions regarding a lot of these esoteric arcane matters, that I don't think I want to know half of it. All I know is that there appear to be some sort of thinning between here, there, and things that are similarly connected to it, using the Dream World and the Dark Tapestry as sort of a nexus. Mercader believes that that is where a lot of the energy from these tears, these anomalies, is most likely leaking out from. Something unstable that isn't really being inflicted, it just sort of is happening. Similarly, how water rushes out of a bowl as soon as it's scratched thin enough. My thought, and that was echoed to me by Mercader, is that somebody is knocking on that wall, scratching the porcelain until the bowl gets thin enough for the water to run out. However, the energy required for that is considerable, to say the least.
We talking god level or just below that?
He looks to Cyrus, and Cyrus just kind of gives a shrug and he looks back and says, it would be possible terrestrially to have that much energy. However, it would require a very consistent source. There aren't a lot of them left. Especially since Targash was taken and Drakengard vanished off the face of Valor. The Wells of Magic would be a very good engine for that.
Ben coughs. Not making a point, just coughing for a brief fit.
Are there fonts underground that we don't have access to?
What
Or
of the
more,
north? What of the north? Are there any lost sources of power?
Yes, there are. We know that there was at least one in Drakengard, the very center of it, but that city is gone, probably collapsed beneath a mountain. As Tertiara said, the city known as Targash might have had one as well, but, well, the dwarves lost that city millennia ago, and the records from it aren't nearly as complete as the ones that the Empire kept from Drakengard.
That's a lot of time to dig.
And those are
Yes.
the ones that we know of. Not so much the ones that we don't. Terse kind of gives a nod and says, we believe that there were a decent amount of wells worldwide that maybe they existed or maybe they were just written down and people conflated ones. We don't know. The largest ones are obviously in the Dwarven City down in Port Azar, places like those. I'm not worried about any location like that. You try and get into center of Port Azar, into Balur, it ain't happening. We're trying to take it on to the center of the University of Talaboth, probably the most militarized zone on the entire planet. But, considering we don't exactly know how much is necessary to batter ram something like this down, all we know is that those would definitely work. And considering that the research that you brought down from our contacts in Innsbruck, specifically John Luke, that perhaps somebody's trying to engineer one.
I think we know who by now.
Engineer a font of power?
Well, let's just say that at one point in time, it is believed that the elves had certain types of magic which doesn't quite exist anymore. That might have been a little more concentrated. Similarly to draconic magic. The kinds actually practiced by the elder dragons, not the younglings that we often encounter these days. The ones that are truly scary, that sleep under the mountains, and you don't fuck with them because they could lay half the planet to waste.
Magic
suppose
that
they-
we currently don't know exists.
So how the
We-
hell are we supposed to figure out which of these they're using?
The wells did have to get there somewhere, I suppose. So there shouldn't be that many people who can figure out how to make one.
You're
I
asking
think-
me.
I think I know who it is. Or at least
Will
a
you?
pretty good guess. Well, if we remember back, Siren, when we spoke with them after they were dead, speak with dead, and I have it And just has like basically a bunch of sheets of paper that he's been carrying around with just like really shittily drawn notes. Some are like tiny in the corner, some are like big, bold. Pieces are ripped out, pieces are scratched out, but he's just combing through it. Hold on. Just trying to. I know it's here somewhere. Ah! I believe what they said exactly was the masters of the order were powerful wizards with servants that transcend the material planes. Their members are everywhere, no names, only the red setting sun to mark them. Now, if we recall, the red setting sun was used to mark, as we learned from the Lutendorf Palace bombing, House to Scar. I believe we had an interaction with before. I believe.
Can we, out of character, confirm that? Because I know we saw house seals from House to Scar,
They
but
do
and we
not
saw a
match them as
different.
their house seal. The individual was marked with it, but it didn't match the seal on the note, which was marked with House to Scar's personal seal. As was a lot of the information that you got in the carriage robbery outside of Innsbruck.
Yes. So the people who robbed the bombing, they had the symbol of like the setting sun bisected circle that we saw.
Yes.
But we also saw a letter with the Drow House seal of House to Scar. Those were two separate symbols.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Oh, were they?
There's a link. There's a link there, but they're not the same symbol.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is an offshoot.
Or somebody was hired. The Scar are known for not just knowledge, but they're the kind of people that you go in order to buy certain information as well as connect with others, as long as you have the coin to do the talking.
What if
Yeah.
it's a universal symbol? What if it's a symbol that's used by all of their offshoots? Because obviously this is based on the interactions with the hobgoblins. And, well, we have a list of, like, names that are important. There's, like, the Oracle, there's the Spider, there's a bunch of others. I can't fucking remember them right now. We got a whole list of names.
From what
These-
I know, many nobles, when their houses split, they use original features from the one they come from. It could
Exactly.
be.
The Cadet House. Possibly.
Sven? Like, if they were constantly in communication with each other, an operation this big would have links growing back to it, and someone would be able to sniff it out by now. Obviously, whatever they're doing, they have a good system.
Mhm.
Or are they paying people off?
Or both.
you know?
Probably both.
Knowing the Drow, I can believe it. I can see them both acting as the footmen, but also possibly being involved in things. I myself have
And-
had to deal with House Scar when it came to finding certain arcane information, and they're good at what they do. Their
And-
matron is a very powerful seer.
Sven scratches his chin and he says, "You said 2 of these wells were buried?"
That we know of, or we can guess at.
The Drow like to be on the ground.
It is their
Perhaps
world.
there's a correlation.
If anybody could find something like that, you have one of two options, really. It's underground, you're going with the Drow, or the Dwerger. Like, the two of them look to one another before looking back and say, and if you want to look above ground, you're going to want to hire out to either greenskins or beast folk.
Greenskins would not be able to do.
There was that other
Not to
expedition.
this. Let me. They would be able to do this, but not to this effect.
I can see them doing the footwork, but not actually directing anything. if you want stupid individuals who can go out en masse to scour a area looking for something, that is a very good option. Especially ones who are too stupid to ask the questions as to why you're looking for it.
Said we did encounter not greenskins, but adjacent, messing with. Well, that's where Oliver came from.
Yes, the hobgoblins. They fall into the category of greenskins, even if they don't always look like that.
I was going to say it's one of those terms that I honestly feel like is incredibly stupid. But, you know, as long as we know what we're talking about anyway.
I
This
mean,
point, yeah.
they're assholes, but it's kind of
Common is-
racist.
Common is a hodgepodge language that the original meanings are lost.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Still,
You
though,
know, even
can't-
one more language and it's that's a whole other thing. I don't want to get into that. I'll be here for another hour.
Can't help but feel as though the explanation I got given earlier that the person who thought it up was colorblind was also a bit, well, anyway.
I mean, he could easily be correct. It doesn't matter.
We're arguing semantics here and chasing our own tail.
Not nice to the colorblind anyway.
We're just nodding to Phoenix and then turning back. Yeah, we're used to doing that. It's fairly common amongst us anyway. But yes, I think that house to Scar is our best lead.
Most likely. And at least Sven's right in one thing. Those are two fingers. They all connect to the same hand to make one fist.
I wouldn't put it past Drow to use the labor of greenskins. That's actually very on brand.
Well, I suppose if they run out of Dwerger to throw into the Thresher or Kobolds to trick into doing it,
Or
We're
they need
desperate.
someone to work on the surface.
or they want somebody to work in the sunlight. Yes. Orcs, not so much when it comes to the sun, but goblins and hobgoblins can usually stand it. Some while, at least.
Pops always said an umbrella helped.
And they are also relatively organized. At least the hobgoblins are. They run a lot of their own societies like they would, militaries. Soldiery.
You know, when we talked to the hobgoblins, we did get a hint as to where their leadership might be, but I can't quite remember what the details were. And again, I'm pretty sure they did say something that would hint it, but it was like, that's so far above our level that we're not going to go after it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I roll to try and remember what those details were?
Give me a...
Intelligence? Or a knowledge geography?
Yeah, let's go with knowledge geography for this one, just for the shit of it.
Alright. I'm going to cast a spell before I do called Investigative Mind, which lets me roll twice on any knowledge skills.
Okay.
Roll once. Roll twice.
80.
Thank God!
It was definitely up into the white tops. Most
It
likely
was.
indicating that they were well beyond the Gravelands.
It was, if I remember. Sven looks as if he's recalling after he cast the spell on himself. Past the grave tops, by the white tops, somewhere around there.
Terse and Cyrus look to one another before Cyrus simply says, Targash. Targash is what a lot of the Greenskins call their own home. As close to it as you can. There are a lot of old dwarven holds that have fallen into disarray over the centuries, the millennia. Targash is the biggest one, by far.
At the time, we didn't see the connection. We thought there might be one, but we couldn't find it. It makes sense now.
Okay.
And even if you had, what were you going to do about it? wage a
That-
5-man war against an entire people?
That was also considered.
Wasn't really our concern, honestly. I mean, it had something to do with the assignment that we were on, but no reason to be going overboard on anything.
Well, that at least raises certain connections as before the representative from the Ved archive was letters that I've heard that were given to me by the representatives down in Port Azar. I know that there were certain machinations going on not too far west of here. You know much about the Vettersturm?
Do we?
I hope so. It's not too far from here.
Person, place, or thing?
The
Putting maps.
Vettersturm is a mountain
It's
range.
the mountain
that's
range
west of
directly to
here.
the west.
Hmm.
It's where we were headed, assuming, we don't get sidetracked by something else. It's where the ruins were.
Yeah.
I guess
Get off my dick.
whatever the name is.
I'm
Stop it.
We've had letters coming out of certain scouts that work in the area that said that there has been certain activity, and unfortunately now we have a connection with the Drow attack here in the city. Perhaps the most brazen and stupid thing that they have done, at least in my fucking memory. If not the memory of half of this principality.
No. I don't think they would have done a move that stupid if it wasn't for a good purpose. We saw that big explosion in the dream realm. Whatever they did, I think whatever they did, they succeeded. They fucked up, maybe, yes, but they still succeeded.
Succeeded in what?
I don't know, but it's still a problem we need to be aware of.
And the question of why they had those wood crystals too
Yeah.
is also relevant.
Sven, Dexius, when you were following the tracks of the assailants, were they headed west as well?
Yeah.
Were they headed west?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
It was north for a bit, and then they turned west, likely to,
Roll
get into the
off.
forest. Yeah.
I
Coming
hope life was
quick.
peaceful there.
I had to guess, we probably don't know of any entrances or passage to the Underdark in immediate access in that area.
Not on
Personally,
this side of them.
no.
Sven curses under his breath.
The lord in the area is a Ritter von Torvacher. Probably ask him. His family has been in charge of that area for, well, fucking long as I know, as long as a lot of our records go. That's about all I can say.
That
Perhaps we
it's
will
a
have to revisit them.
that chance I could track them now.
We'll make do.
Might not be the same method, but there are ways. And if you don't feel like you're up to it, I may have the ability to scry now.
Oh,
We, just a thought. I don't know if there's any realism to it, but from what we understood, the fonts of magic are the wells, fonts, whatever you wish to call them. Are they not generated primarily off of a large cache of ion?
You mean cash?
Sorry, say again?
The fonts of magic, the wells, are they centered around or coming from a large collection of ion? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yours just kind of gives you a look like, I have no idea. Not exactly my area of expertise.
think we were told
Is
something similarly.
that a knowledge arcana? Or a knowledge?
That would be a knowledge you have to talk with Christoph Ludendorff. It was something that was mentioned in passing as being a certain theory given by a person that he was speaking about, a court wizard who served under the previous empire's last emperor.
Okay.
So many notes I need to re-go through.
Yes. Villain Starakius, court wizard of the Old World Journal, talks of Ion as a living thing, wells made of magic.
Mhm.
Wells of magic made of it. It's something I did take note of.
Okay.
Well, is it possible that, given what we've learned of the source of Ion, that if this cult is trying to recreate a well of magic, then perhaps they're trying to do it out of more modern souls rather than Ion.
Maybe. Sorry, it's not exactly my area of, once again, expertise.
Does he know that Ion has souls yet? I say to Vic.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I guess now it is.
Fuck off.
Didn't mean to get to it.
Yeah, it's just a joke between us.
It's a long story. Just
Well,
trying to make some connections.
If you did want to know more, there's dream walking and someone who you should probably meet.
I mean, I don't imagine it's kind of to the rest of the group. I mean, I imagine Cyrus probably would have figured something out sooner rather than later. Don't necessarily see the harm in talking about it at this point.
If there's anyone who might run into something tangentially related, it's probably you.
I'm not sure.
Felix, would you like to explain?
I could
Well-
explain a very crash course basic concept.
Right, it's
Just look over the
it,
front.
yes, a lot to kind of go over, but essentially they were sort of race of they were called Tyrians who existed a very long time ago, well before any of our civilizations came about and came to this star or planet, whichever you want to call it, from a very long way away. And well, the ion is all that's left of some of them now.
We don't know if it's a soul stone or what. They seem to have been a gestalt consciousness.
Hmm.
You know what that is?
Like a Gestalt.
It's a good way to explain it. A kind of all
To
Share-
a portion of them.
sort of the way that bees are theorized to communicate, or at least the way that I say it, the druids say that they do.
What, by dancing at each other?
No, it
Uh,
seemed much more
fair.
connected. Like
Better
their
than the
souls were
pheromones.
connected.
Right.
Mm.
The one
So-
we. Yes.
The state they are preserved in with the ion, which I assume is probably one that we're only observing the current degenerative effects of, is repeating over and over some sort of period in their lives, usually not more than a few minutes. So, the fact that they are sane and able to talk with us is something that I would not expect to see from most mortal souls.
Right.
But the one we spoke to mentioned that there were large bouts of, well, I can't remember how it was described exactly, but it sounded like a group execution, and a large portion of the population living on this planet, as they put it, were dumped into specific pits scattered across the lands.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
they are the same, well, if the theory of Ion being the source of the well's power is correct, these would be potentially the mass graves. And if the Drow figured this out, perhaps they are trying to recreate this large mass of soul infused into gemstones to, well, replicate it.
Okay.
Magic may work differently now than it does then, but that is also to the advantage of those who wish to reproduce something like that. They may not have to follow the same rules, and it may be considerably easier on them. All the roll of the cosmic dice.
Or, of course, we could be drawing up connections and coming up with theories that have absolutely no link to the reality of the situation. No. We don't know.
I'm not sure which is more discomforting.
I don't think any
But-
of it is comforting. So
I suppose that's well,
I don't know how much of it matters right now.
Well, not directly, but if the Wells of Magic did show up again, it would certainly change a few things.
Cause a lot of fucking problems is what it would.
Most likely. I can't say for sure, but if they're not here now, it might be a bit much, especially considering that whole China Bowl explanation. It's a lot more energy than is coursing through our reality presently.
Right. Huh.
So the expedition. I suppose we're going on it then. This question still is, do we go with or without the funding?
Sorry, what expedition?
Oh, the Ludendorffs are funding an expedition.
have offered to.
Even Cyrus kind of looks towards you and says, and when was I going to be fucking told about this?
No.
Do you understand we've had a lot on our plate recently?
You're grumpy.
We were going to be
fucking
informed.
enlighten me.
Sven coughs, which reinforces the point of what we've been doing lately.
Look, we have not made any decisions without you being informed of them. We were invited out to dinner, made the offer, and then we left. We did not tell them we were doing this. We did not say that we are going to commit all of our lives to whatever fucking servitude you were thinking of. It
We
wasn't a
also-
priority at the moment.
Right, and
We
that
also-
did not indeed what I said. I was more along the lines of keeping abreast of certain things. Don't put words in my mouth.
We really were going to need to get to this point to even know if we could do that anyway. So
Oh, what a fucking mess. Especially since
They,
Anthony's house has been blown to pieces.
mm-hmm. And they had invited us to dinner, what, 5 days earlier?
It was a few days ago. Things were progressing forward with the ritual, so.
I hadn't realized that we kept you out of so much.
Yeah, that was on the 1st or the 2nd, I believe. Yeah, there were 3 days that you could have, like, said something and you just didn't. That we sort of skipped over.
We
Oh,
had
well.
shit on our plate.
For 3 days,
are-
most of it was just Sven reading the book.
Yeah, well,
We
I
are
think we
going
made
to
the
look
executive
upon
decision to not roleplay every single day because it was
Yeah.
taking fucking
Weird.
months.
I
we
know.
were like tired. We forgot that he existed.
I know.
Well, listen, if you want to know so bad, why don't you just eavesdrop on us and break into all of our stuff and not respect our privacy.
Because
Why
I'm
don't
not
you
a
do that?
fucking horrible person. Who the fuck? Who do you consider your friends and family? They are fucked up.
Yeah, really, this is on you.
For not being a bastard? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, who are you considering your friends?
DM, I had
Is
a
it-
game. Could I use Major Image to reconstruct memories that I've experienced?
Yeah. It's not going to be 100% perfect because it's going to be you remembering it. But yes.
I could use it to. Because there's actually not a duration on it. It's just concentration plus 3 rounds. So I could literally just spend an entire day catching them up on everything we've seen. Like,
Yeah, fair
from
enough.
the. Just thinking out loud.
Yeah, it'd
Well,
work.
I suppose
Giving
the
you-
question still is about the expedition. Seems to line up. It's the same direction, is it not?
Yes, that's. I was going to try to explain this. We've had several things pointing us towards the Vedestrom range. Some of the things found in the gauntlet underneath Hinsburg, and a letter that I think it's probably best to not explain where we got it. Mentioning that there were some bad tidings coming from some of the areas by the mountain range. That, combined with everything else we've seen, seems to indicate that there's something worth investigating and some ruins to explore.
Do we
Yeah,
have to
host.
beat around what it is? Or can we say it?
I feel like we've already explained the situation with the Ark and
Yeah, that I think that was covered.
The spooky dust, yes.
Hmm.
but the way the situation was approached was something that we reached out to the Ludendorffs to try to find some information that may not be as readily available as what we could find in the society or the local libraries. And given that, while we did not offer up information, it seems that the Ludendorffs had some vested interest in investigating the area as well, and offered to fund an expedition. We let them know that we would think on it, and were caught up in one of the other messes that we've no doubt dragged you all into.
The Ludendorff was just robbed as well. I remember speaking with him, as well as Captain Staffar afterwards, about certain texts being stolen from his personal library, whatever you want to call it. Seems like somebody knows something.
Yes, there's a couple books that related to our searches.
I believe also I was in the losing portion of the group in that we didn't want to go and be associated with them on the expedition. So
I was
don't
inclined
want
not to get them involved.
I don't want to either, but we need every resource we can get, unfortunately.
I kind of want to keep my pulse on the Ludendorffs now more than my prior reasoning.
Would be a good way to keep an eye on what they're doing in the area, if nothing else, I suppose.
True.
Right. I mean, well, there's a lot of different things that could potentially happen, I suppose. Just, yeah, if something like that were to spring up suddenly, I would almost feel as though I would prefer to have someone there who we might consider disposable. I still don't like the way that sounds, but someone who's not us to get in the way of the ensuing bullshit.
Right.
Just
Do you
from
happen to know if there's any drow that happen to be in the dungeons of Loonbrook?
You're asking if we have what drow prisoners?
In the city,
No.
I imagine.
There was a corpse that Daxius dragged in that hasn't been interrogated yet.
I think perhaps we should interrogate it.
Agreed. Should be our next step.
have to.
3 questions? He asks.
Depends on the caster.
Yeah, so I'll see if it's spirit even answers.
Well, it seems like most everyone who needs to be there for it is here. We could all, this whole room, go down and speak with it.
Perhaps it would be willing to betray those who killed it.
Perhaps not.
Drow are traitorous folk. I would think so.
Usually getting killed does rub one the wrong way.
Hard to say. Within a house, not so much. Between a house, absolutely.
Let's just hope we're lucky then.
Do we go off to the body then?
Alright, I guess we're doing
Okay.
this.
If you
Okay,
wanna-
Do we have questions as we're walking
I
down? We can.
also, Fernix, I'm assuming you can cast that?
Yeah. I could say I probably had a slot left open for today or something.
Okay.
Just prep it and go, bleh. Squeak with dead.
And then does it have to roll a will save if it doesn't want to respond?
Yeah.
Um,
It gets a will save unless my alignment matches its.
Does your alignment match the drow?
Are they
lawful-
true neutral?
no.
Then no.
Do we need time to think of questions? Is right now a bad time?
You could just do it again, I guess.
Oh, I thought if you did it once, you couldn't do it for
What?
the week or something.
What are the directions to the nearest
Yes.
drow hole that you know of?
Or just where did they come from?
The drow hole.
Drow hole.
Well, if they say where did you come from, they'll say like Drowsville or something, and we don't
he's-
know where that is.
We can specify that, like, what hole did they come out of?
Yeah, that's right.
Possibly
Yeah,
that's
what are
giving
the-
you a non-G-rated answer there.
What are the directions to the hole you came out of?
My Bob's dead. Thanks for.
Thanks for asking.
Great.
So that's one.
Oh, it doesn't have any. Why did I think that Speak with Dead had like a material component? I don't know. Well, yeah, it's good. So I'll need 15 minutes to meditate and 10 minutes to cast it.
2, what was the goal of this expedition that you took? And then 3, what's your favorite color?
You get one question per 2 caster level.
So you get 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
So third question.
What? Why'd they kill you? You think?
I don't think that's
Spitball.
very important. I feel like it's probably he made someone stub their toe and got hung for it. Drow.
Oh, it might be. Like,
Well,
Ask where they were headed after.
if it's like because I gave everyone leukemia with this, uranium rod that I was carrying, so I would serve my purpose. I would probably want him to tell me that.
Did you find enough information to succeed in your goal or something like that?
Yeah, because at least it is kind of like a gimme question because he probably failed. But if it was like he was going to, if they were like, "No, you're fine," and then they killed him anyway, there might even be something else going on.
Mhm.
Or they could have just lied to him, is the most likely thing. And be like, "Nah, this is cool. We'll totally wipe out your debt with us," and then they're like, "Debt's good now."
Okay.
And what
Do
can you
we-
tell us that would ruin your enemies?
do we? I just want to be
Or
careful
ruin
with
those
what
who killed you.
questions we ask, specifically the wording of them. Can we go over one more time what we have so far?
Also, make sure you write it down.
Yeah.
Alright. So, what are the directions to the drow hole you came out of? That's one.
I think that might be too specific.
I think
That
so.
Yeah,
entrance
feel
from
free
the
to
underworld or underdark or whatnot.
feel free to expand. I'm doing the general ones. Two. What were your goals in coming in this expedition you and your group undertook? 3. Did you accomplish your goals? No, hold on. In what ways did you accomplish or fail your goals
I think
on
is it.
this expedition?
Oh no, it doesn't have to be yes or no. Sweet.
And 4, how best could we no,
Where was your group headed after?
where was your group planning to head?
I think we know the question to that one. They're just probably
Yeah.
just going to say, what is it? I cannot pronounce that.
How do we gain access and safely traverse the Underdark?
Who are they reporting to? Might be a good one too.
Well, we know their house, or at least
Right.
a symbol. If we only have 4 questions, because it sounds like the Underdark is like not a place that people know how to get to. Like, I doubt that it's just, oh, there's a hole in the ground, jump in.
Yeah.
Right. I think asking him how to get there and access it and traverse it is probably a pretty important question to ask this drow. Otherwise, we might just show up to the hole and then, like, it's like a stone wall and we don't know the key phrase to get in or something. Like, there's other questions we can ask, but I think asking how to get there and traverse it is probably a pretty important one.
Yeah, I've got fancy new thing, but honestly, the one that I'm thinking would be the best problem solver potentially is wall of stone, because just make like a vertical or horizontal sheet of stone, and sometimes, hey, got a bridge. But yeah, doesn't really help if it's like, all right, now jump into the underwater rapids.
Yeah.
You're fine doing that, right? With all of the rocks and everything.
So do we think these are
Okay.
4 generally good guiding questions? And then we'll specify
Yeah.
them.
Yep. Just be sure to have them be somewhere so that I can. Yeah. We'll assume we have this like written down.
Yeah.
As all of you
Yeah,
probably know, if you've looked over any of Phoenix's notes, if anyone makes a correction, he just immediately like crosses out and writes something else. Don't care if it looks fucked up.
Well, I think the direction of the drow hole you came out from, I think that's kind of the same question as our 4th question we had earlier. I think we kind of know what direction they're coming from and going, which is the
I
same
think
place
that's
we're
meant to say.
going.
I think that's meant to say directions.
Hmm.
Specifying it as what is the
Oh yeah,
location.
directions. Sorry.
One should be, the first question should be like, what is the location of the Underdark portal? And I mean in the old version of Portal, not the magical portal.
Yep. Okay.
Gurgamesh having very helpful input.
I can't believe Gilgamesh is dead.
Yep.
Me neither.
Yeah, we just hear somebody getting into a fight outside the window.
Ah,
what's going
there
on.
he is.
It's like I can almost see him right now. Somebody screaming racial slurs. And hear him.
Well, we can work on the questions.
You got time for that.
Right?
What?
Oh, I was saying we can work on the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a mooski.
Turned
Okay.
to Cyrus
Um,
and Turf. Like, yeah, come back to us in like half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely where we're going to come to an end. I'm thinking this next session is probably going to be the last for a while. It'll probably be where we give me my break so that I can probably play some myself.
Mhm.
So I guess we'll have to think on what we want to ask the corpse, and which will give me the opportunity to think about how someone like this would answer. Thanks everybody who has been watching, and thanks everybody who has been playing. So come back next week. We'll answer some of these questions, see if we can figure out what we want to do the deal on, and set ourselves up for the beginning of the next arc, whenever that may begin. So,
Oh yeah.
thank you all for watching, and catch us all on the next one.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
See you.